that was encouraging that they were able to do that after the rough start when they gave up the 10, 11, 12 points in the first 4 minutes and then gave up only 18 the rest of the half and really gave up 48 the rest of the game after that first 4 or 5 minutes of basketball where they just weren't guarding anybody. And I'm like, this is the problem that we're seeing with Mizzou, with Dennis Gates, is that, can they score? Yes. But they get into these games like almost every game. It's like, which half of basketball are they going to decide just not to guard?
Sure.
Which is it going to be? And so I appreciated last night that they turned it on and played defense well enough that they were able to get out and run away from Minnesota. An 8-point possession helps. Those are rare. 8-point possessions in in college basketball are rare. Missouri had the rare 8-point possession last night, which helps you pull away when you're up by 6 at that point.
It was close. It was pretty tight, and then all of a sudden,
8-point possession.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's rough. A 3-pointer goes in. They foul on the rebound, so you get the ball. You get a dunk, and then you get how was it that they got the 8? Because it was a 3, a dunk, and a 3 that they got that.
Shout out Jacob Cruz too.
Yeah, for sure. He had a couple of them. But the rare 8-point possession last night that took place.
The one thing I'll say is Minnesota shot poorly from behind the arc. That is something to at least monitor because traditionally schools shoot very well against Missouri behind the arc. Cade Tyson had a good game, but him going 0 for 4 was very beneficial for Mizzou. I was a little nervous first half. They got out rebounded by an insane margin. Again, I told you the lack of ass. It I know it's a joke. I know you think I'm kidding. But
I hope it is, but whatever.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to get your ass in someone.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to box out, and this Missouri team perpetually gets out rebounded.
Yeah, first half was embarrassing.
Second half was a lot better. I know the numbers they still lose by 9, but the first half was so outlandish. In the second half, I think Missouri actually won the rebounding margin.
I would hope you would with all the shots Minnesota missed in the second half. You'd better win the rebounding margin. The problem is they finished the game with 3 offensive rebounds and Minnesota has 13.
And that's, again, the point.
Offensive rebounds.
I know we joke about it. I know the way I say it, but the way I say it's on purpose to kind of emphasize the point that Missouri does not rebound very well. You just see Mark Mitchell take over. You saw Jacob Cruz. Again, you know my thoughts on Cruz. I think he's a great sixth man because he is a microwave. He is a guy who can get hot. It's Vinny John. Like, you give him the ball, but he's a microwave. If
he's knocking down threes, he's got value on the floor. If he's not, then he doesn't have much value on the floor.
Correct, I agree, but you got to count on that. Luke Northweather has impressed me to an extent. Shot better than I expected. T.O. Barrett is still growing, and you just see what he does, especially defensively. Him and Ant, that's one of the best defenders of their height.
I thought one of the differences in the second half was T.O. Barrett playing.
Agreed.
And when he was in there, he brought energy. He had that amazing finish with his left hand. That was odd, the up and under thing. That was unbelievable that he was able to do that. But defensively, energy that he brings and cool hair. So
great hair. But him and Ant are, that's a nightmare for a point guard to try and dribble against because those two guys are very physical. They're longer than they look, and just the physicality defensive they bring is fun to watch. Again, you still have some questions at the 4 and 5. Javon Porter, Sean Phillips, Luke Northweather. There are a lot of questions. We know this team can go on stretches where they can put up a lot of points. We saw that last year. It looks like it's this year as well. I still think rebounding is going to be a massive issue for this team unless they get it figured out.
Yeah, it's a matter of finding the right rotation in a game because that rotation, starting Jacob Cruz in the second half, helped. And that was Dennis Gates seeing things going on in the game. Mark Pope described his basketball team that's got like 10, 11 different guys and saying, you walk into a room with all these different instruments and you're like, okay, which one am I going to use today and which of these combinations is going to make the best song for today? Sure. And you sort of find that as it's going along. You sort of have your starting point. You got the drums and the bass and the guitar. But then all these other things you start to use and integrate and mix in. And that's what Dennis Gates has to do almost each and every game is to what is working, which can make it difficult.
Yes.
It can help you in games where it's like you need a spark. Okay, Jacob Cruz is starting. T.O. Barrett comes off the bench. Okay, those things help. But you do have your main starters, but you have to find out along the way, like, who is going to be playing. I think that can also be a detriment at times because I think depth helps you through the regular season. You don't need 9 or 10 guys in the tournament. You need about 7 dudes, and that's really it.
Well, and to the same point, Sebastian Mack carried this Secretariat Mack, really, Seabiscuit Mack, really did a good job in the early parts of the game to keep Missouri afloat offensively. But then, again, he kind of transitioned out as the game went on. It just, you're right, this Missouri team has such a weird roster construction. They'll have the guys to hopefully make it through the regular season because, again, you're right. They go 9, 10 deep. It's just each game you have no idea which 5 will step up and be playmakers and game changers. Again, Mark Mitchell, every game, though, has to be that guy, and he was in this one. Again, free throws, by the way. What happened to Ant? Halfway through last year, he went from like a 90% free throw shooter to now he can't make a free. Yeah. I was like, okay, maybe what happened?
Yeah, misses the flagrant. Both of them misses the second of 3. You make the first one as a free throw shooter. Now you're fine. The first one's done. You got the touch. You know exactly. And then to miss it by hitting it off the front rim right back to you.
He was like 90% the first half of last year. He still finished at 77. Like he had a historic streak and then forgot how to shoot free throws.
Yeah. I want to address a little bit with K-State in action tonight. They get ready for, Cal, a couple of undefeated teams. And this is both of these teams, it's really their first test against like legit teams in the regular season. Obviously, K-State played Mizzou in the exhibition. I think this is a night where we find out how much respect K-State starts to get because Cal was picked 16th in the ACC this year out of 18 teams. By the way, Minnesota was picked 16th in the Big Ten out of 18 teams. That's who Mizzou played last night and won by, 30 or whatever. 23. K-State tonight against a team that's picked 16th in the ACC. They're 5.5-point favorites at home. Sorry, K-State fans. I absolutely love K-State minus the points tonight because I don't think much of Cal, and I think this is K-State having the unknown of what the roster is, last year's struggles. Okay, maybe they're going to be lower in the Big 12 anyway, so it's 2 teams that may finish near the bottom of their own conference early on. We'll set the line to where, they're favored at home, but they're not that much of a favorite over this particular team, and I think they are. Yeah. I think they are a better team than Cal.
I would agree.
And I think tonight is an opportunity for K-State to start going and proving that this year is not last year. This year is going to be different than last year, and I think you take care of a team that's picked, third to last out of 18 teams in their conference, and you've got them at home. This is the first of what could be many prove-it games for K-State for me, and I think they're going to come out, and I think they're going to take care of business against Cal tonight, and I think they're going to cover that spread, and I think people may look back and go, how are they only 5-point favorites over Cal back in week 3?
Yeah.
Or game 3. College football, week 3. Game 3.
PJ Haggerty already looks like a much better version of Coleman Hawkins.
Oh yeah.
That's basically what a big trade was not legit in that sense, but Coleman Hawkins was supposed to be basically what PJ Haggerty's done this year already. I know it's smaller competition, but Haggerty looks the part. It's not just the scoring, it's also the playmaking ability that Haggerty brings. 11 assists last game. Again, I understand who you're playing, all that. It matters. Haggerty, though, looks incredible. Yeah. You bring in Abdi Bashir, who can absolutely drain 5 of 9 last game. Nate Johnson is a really good piece as well. You just look at this K-State team. They look much better than last year, but it feels like you're right. They're getting treated like this is still last year's team.
Yep. And I think that's tonight. Again, sorry, K-State. I'm all over the K-State minus the points tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Sterling Stamp, K-State covers.
That's even worse.
You guys are screwed. Sorry, guys, but I believe in it. Right. Sterling Stamp.
There it is.
K-State covers.
We'll take the time out. We'll come back, and we'll get into what we heard from Andy Reid on Monday and what we heard from Andy Reid yesterday in regards to Josh Simmons and whether he plays this weekend against the Denver Broncos. We'll talk about that. Kent Swanson at 11 o'clock, 11:45 Chiefs press conferences coming up at 1 o'clock Sports or Leisure. More Zone coming up next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Coming up at 11 o'clock, Kent Swanson, KC Laboratory Podcast, KC Sports Network. We'll get his thoughts on this Chiefs game coming up on Sunday. 3.5-point favorites the Chiefs are. That line has not moved since last Friday.
Since ever.
Since in ever. It's been that line was 3.5 after the Broncos and Raiders game. 3.5, 43.5, and it stayed there. 43.5 with the Chiefs, 3.5-point favorites. I think I heard Curtis yesterday say that I think 60% of the tickets are on the Chiefs, while like 80% of the money is on the Chiefs. So that's the sharps are betting the Chiefs in this particular game.
It is so funny. You see a team at 5-4. Like, imagine you have not watched football all year long. Let's just say they should be like me with hockey or something like that. I like hockey, but I don't watch every NHL game, right? And you see a team that's 8-2 versus a team that's 5-4.
Yes.
The 8-2 team's at home, and you're like, okay, well, maybe their star player is out.
Yeah.
No, the quarterback's playing.
Yeah. Huh. Well, the corner isn't playing.
Corner's not,
the
but the
corner is, but the corner may
playing.
not.
Well, I don't like why is that team favorite? Like your mind would be blown.
Yeah.
But yet here we are, the Chiefs 3.5-point favorites at 5-4.
It is funny when you say
on the road.
Just looking at the schedule or looking at the record, and Jesse Newell tweeted this out yesterday, and my God, man, the defensiveness of any fan base out there. And I know people talk about, well, Chiefs fans are so defensive. If you say that their whole dynasty is fraudulent, they'll respond to you. Okay. But Jesse Newell tweets out that stupid bee, get out of here, bee. There's a bee like hovering around. I don't want it.
It's fine. Let it just.
I don't want it to hover.
It's sitting on me right now. It's fine. It's our buddy.
How do you get bees and fly and stuff like that? I always forget those things.
Do you know why?
Why
the Broncos are so defensive? Those fans.
Because they're aware of their offense being fraudulent too?
That's what it is,
yes.
Because they're all defense.
Yes.
That team's all defense.
That's a great point. That's why they're defensive. But Jesse Newell tweets out this incredibly benign tweet yesterday. The Broncos have had 53 punts this year. The Chiefs are at 22. That's it. That's the tweet. That's the tweet. Broncos 53 punts this year, Chiefs 22. Oh, my God. The replies to that are phenomenal.
Totally normal?
It's just filled with Broncos fans going, oh, yeah? Broncos 8 wins, Chiefs 5.
Okay.
How about that? Oh, really? Broncos 46 sacks on the season, Chiefs 20. Why aren't you looking at that?
I'm waiting for someone to say Broncos have played one more game, as if
somebody did say that.
As if the Chiefs are going to punt 24 times or 20 times.
Somebody did say that. Oh, kind of misleading when the Broncos haven't had their bye week yet. Okay.
Chiefs are going to punt 20 times.
Then let's say
apparently in one game.
Let's even take 10 punts away. It's still 43 to 22. Like, all right. The tweet still stands. The Broncos offense has punted a lot. The Chiefs have not punted a lot. That was it. That's the tweet. And just the immediate. What about the 8-5? That's the record. Yep, we know that is the record. Just as last year when the Broncos got beat by the Chiefs at home on a blocked field goal, and Broncos fans saying how lucky the Chiefs were, and the Chiefs' record was fraudulent, and the Broncos actually proved they're better than the Chiefs, and the records don't matter. But now, that's all that matters because they know.
In fairness, they've not been good since the corpse of Peyton Manning.
That's a good point.
They weakened at Bernie's that guy back there and won a Super Bowl, and since then, they forgot how to act. They forgot what it's like to have a winning team or any sort of success.
Yeah.
So
they made the playoffs and they got punked by 24. But man, that matchup the next week.
They're used to watching the Rockies, and so they're used to having bad ball in their city. And
I want to talk about Josh Simmons though. Let's play this clip. This is Andy Reid from Monday. Monday Zoom press conference. Clip number 2 here. Andy Reid on Monday was asked if he does he know if Josh Simmons, is in good enough shape as he came back to the team?
No, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not telling you yes or no that he did, but I know he's been working out for sure.
So therefore, hey, I know he's been working out. I don't know how great a shape he's in. Game shape, not game shape. I know he's been working out for sure. So then I would guess there was that communication when he was away from the team about what they probably would like him to be doing while he's away from the team, that you still want to be working out. You still want to be ready to go when you return. This is Andy Reid yesterday. Matt Derrick asked the question because the question by Pete Sweeney about Josh Simmons returning, going up against Nick Bonito, and Andy Reid going, let's just see. Let's see what he looks like in practice. So Matt Derrick with the appropriate follow-up. Andy, what do you want to see from Josh Simmons in practice?
Let's just see what kind of shape he's in. You get back into the football swing. So let's see how he is. I'm sure he's going to be okay, but we'll see.
So Michael had that last part teed up, where that last sort of like 4 or 5 seconds of Andy Reid there, because I want to make this point and then listen to that again. Or we can listen to the whole thing again. But there has been what I feel is a consensus that Josh Simmons is not playing this weekend, that it's going to be Jalen Moore. While I disagree, I think Josh Simmons plays this weekend. I would like to see Josh Simmons play for a number of reasons. Obviously, they're better with Josh Simmons on the field. He's a better player than Jalen Moore, and they're going up against one of the best pass rushing teams and players in the NFL, and Nick Bonito, who terrorized Carson Wentz last year, poor guy, in Week 18, but is also a better player than Greg Rousseau, who got plenty of pressures against Jalen Moore, and at times won quickly. And Patrick Mahomes yesterday talking about in the bye week, making sure, as you go back and self-scout, what he said was making sure you stay true to the progressions. And he had been doing it that year, and he felt like early on in the Bills game, he was doing that, and then he stopped, which is what we all saw. We all saw Patrick Mahomes quickly revert, divert, regress into old habits like a year ago and earlier this year in the first couple of games.
Agreed.
When there wasn't trust of the offensive line and warranted no trust in that game for the offensive line. That's the difference with Simmons against Bonito, if Simmons were playing all season and in mid-season form, or Jalen Moore that at times struggled against Greg Rousseau. I think Josh Simmons, my guess is that Josh Simmons he's full practice. Whether that means he plays or not, we'll find out. But that part from Andy Reid right there. So at the beginning on Monday, he's like, no, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you yes or no if he's in good enough shape or not. I know he's been working out. I know that. And then what do you want to see? Well, let's just see the kind of shape he's in. Let's see him out there. Let's see what kind of shape he's in. But the last part to me, maybe I'm reading too much into this, of Andy Reid talking about what he wants to see, but then almost giving more of a clue in what Andy kind of thinks before he even watched him practice.
I'm sure he's going to be okay, but we'll see.
I'm sure he's going to be okay. Let's see what type of shape he's in. Let's see him get out there. I'm sure he's going to be okay, but we'll see. If he's going to be okay, and Andy Reid's, I'm sure he's going to be okay, then why would he not play on Sunday? My question would be, because Kareem Hunt was not on a team last year in 2024.
Sure.
And they signed Kareem Hunt on a Tuesday. He did not play that weekend, but he played the next week. So 12 days after being signed, he played and touched the ball 20 times in the game. Running back is different than left tackle. We've talked about that. There's a slower integration. Rashee Rice, when he returned from suspension, and that was, by the way, 3 weeks being at the facility and being able to go to meetings, not practice, but being able to go to meetings and things like that, he slowly worked into being Rashee Rice and getting sort of max what would be workload for Rashee Rice. But my question would be, if Kareem Hunt can not even be on a team and 12 days later play after being signed. Josh Simmons returned last Monday. That's 13 days away from the game. Why would he not be ready to play when he's already played 5 actual football games this year? He hasn't played in 4 weeks. If somebody had an ankle injury, wouldn't it be more tough for them to be ready to go after sitting 3 or 4 weeks with an ankle injury and not playing, while not being able to work out the way that you would work out with your legs with an ankle injury, and then return to play? I would love to know, if Josh Simmons doesn't play this weekend, what the reasons are. There could be a very real, legitimate reason where Andy Reid and the Chiefs say, Josh Simmons busted his ass while he was away from the team. He's in phenomenal shape. He's ready to go. But it's the Denver Broncos. It's Nick Benito. The last thing we want to do is put him out there against a player that's in midseason form and have him then go and try to match that and then pull a hamstring or step incorrectly with his legs not fully football shape against Benito, speed to power, plant wrong. And now you're stuck. Now you have Jalen Moore the rest of the way. I could understand that. But DJ Humphries hadn't played all season and was put in the game and played as an offensive lineman. Now, he did hurt his hamstring there in the fourth quarter, but that was a guy that hadn't played a game all season. Didn't go through training camp. Josh Simmons went through training camp, went through all the offseason stuff, went through the preseason games, played in the first 5 weeks of the season. I wonder if he doesn't play this weekend, is it because they don't feel like he's in good enough shape? Was he not working out enough? Because the questions would be, how professional are you? We talked about on Monday after the Bills game, we were getting ready to have a discussion about Josh Simmons. Do you love football or not? Do you want to be a football player or not? And he returned to the team. And so it was like, okay, there you go. We didn't even really have to get into it because he returned to the team, and maybe this was the plan all along, in that after the bye week he was going to return. And he returned on Monday and was around the facility while everybody else had the week off, like Hollywood Brown talked about yesterday. It's the first time in my career I've been given the entire week off. Usually you get a couple of days, but the entire week off. But Josh Simmons returned on Monday to the facilities. If he was away from the team, doing the things the team wants him to do, and he returns to practice and is a full participant and is in shape, what's the reason you wouldn't play him on Sunday? That's what I would want to know.
And I think this game in particular, Josh Simmons is a much better tackle. Again, I think we probably agree Jalen Moore is a better run-blocking tackle. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to pass pro, from what we've seen so far, Josh Simmons excels and exceeds Jalen Moore in that regard. Well, you're not running the football against the Broncos. I don't care if it's Jalen Moore or Josh Simmons. I don't think it matters who it is.
You don't even think with Clyde in there?
Shockingly, no.
Okay.
Even with Elijah Mitchell, I think
it won't be that.
I think the answer is no. They've given up 3.6 yards per carry, 912 yards overall. You don't run very well against this Broncos defense. Just no one has. But when it comes to pass pro, you at least have to be adequate, because 46 sacks. We know the pressure numbers and all of this. So if you told me which tackle makes more sense in this game against the Bills, it may actually have been Jalen Moore makes more sense, because
if you wanted to run the ball.
If you wanted to run the football, which that was their weakness. So again, you could have made the argument that against the Bills, it actually would have made more sense for Jalen Moore than Josh Simmons because of the run blocking proficiencies of Jalen. But in this game, you need Josh Simmons. You need your best pass protector. You're not running either way against this Broncos defense. You got to win through the air, and you got to give Patrick time. Without trust, that's not going to be good for us. And I know that he might have some rust, but you're going to rue this day. Those are all words you can use with the word trust. Fun fact for you.
Yeah, and apparently you must do that.
You must. I don't know where the must comes from. There's no M, but we'll make it work. I like it either way. You need Josh Simmons in this one. This is one where he has to play.
The problem with not knowing anything going on behind the scenes is that it's like you wonder what took place. We don't know what happened. I don't know that we'll hear from Josh Simmons anytime soon. It's a road game in Denver. There will be a number of media members that'll be there in the locker room that would probably love to ask him questions. I don't know that he will be available in the locker room. It's a road game, so you probably get ready pretty quickly and get out of there. He may be out of there before the media gets into the locker room. I don't know that they would make him available next week. Then it would be the Colts. So maybe a week from Sunday is an opportunity to talk to him. We'll find out. We'll see. I don't know that we'll ever sort of know what went on behind the scenes. But there are people around the world and in this country that have to deal with personal matters, and maybe they do have to take a leave of absence from work, but there are also plenty of people that are dealing with that while having to wake up every day and go to work. And, well, I got to pay the bills. I need the money. I've got a commitment to certain people. This is my job. This is my career. There's an understanding that will take place if you have to be away from whatever your career might be, and I think there's been a real understanding from the Kansas City Chiefs. But if he shows up out of shape, and I don't know that I'm not saying he did or is. He had a full practice yesterday. I think Matt Nagy will be asked about what he saw from Josh Simmons and what kind of shape he's in from practice yesterday. But if he's doing that, then what kind of professional is he? If he can't play on Sunday because you don't feel like he's good enough and in good enough shape to play on Sunday, then how much does he love football, and how committed is he to playing this game and playing this year and trying to win a Super Bowl and protecting the best quarterback in the NFL? Your $500 million quarterback, the face of the league, protecting that man being out there if you're not doing the things behind the scenes that you need to do. When DJ Humphries and Kareem Hunt were doing that when they didn't even know who they were going to play for. So, yeah, I'd like to see Josh Simmons out there. I think it would say a lot to me. He doesn't care. But it would say a lot to me, and I think other people too, if Josh Simmons is out there playing, about the work he put in behind the scenes, even while dealing with the personal matter, the family matter, whatever it might have been, finding ways to still work so that when he returns, he's ready to get right back in there and play. The Chiefs have talked glowingly about his work ethic. They talked all off season. This guy is hit it. He's been here the whole time. He's not left. He's in there with the training room. He's going through rehab every day. He's working hard. That's one of the hardest workers I've seen. Okay. If he is that, then why can't he play on Sunday? We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. More Zone next. Yo, NBA fans, all your favorite NBA players, they are back. And DraftKings Sportsbook, it's an official sports betting partner of the NBA. It is the place to bet on NBA stars. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We'll talk with Kent Swanson coming up at 11 o'clock. Get his thoughts on this Chiefs team, what they've looked like the first 9 games compared to what maybe he thought they would look like. Get his thoughts on Josh Simmons, if he plays, does not play, and then, of course, breaking down this Broncos game and how crucial this game is for the Kansas City Chiefs. We've discussed it. People know the implications around it. You don't win the AFC West if you lose. Winning it doesn't necessarily mean you win the West. Broncos still would have the lead if they lose this game in the division, but you feel a whole lot better about the Chiefs' chances of catching the Broncos, winning the AFC West, making the playoffs with a win on Sunday. And I think this is a game that will tell us more about this team than we've learned the previous 9 games and maybe the final 7 games after Sunday. Because this is a game that you know the Broncos have circled on their calendars. They were pissed off about the loss and the blocked field goal. They exorcised some demons against, a team that wasn't personnel good enough to compete with them on that field in Denver. And then they get beat down by the Buffalo Bills while feeling like they had a great chance of going to the AFC Championship game had they just won the wild card game, right? But the reason this game will tell me a lot about this team is we've seen Chiefs teams of the past answer the bell. A huge game, they step up to the table and they play some of their best football. They had the loss to the Jags. And then they had the Lions coming into town. And they played some of their best football in that game. Oh, the Lions were injured. Oh, the Chiefs didn't get called for any penalties in the game, accepted penalties in the game. Oh, the NFL cheated for the Chiefs on a play that was actually illegal. And it was officiated correctly and illegal. But, we're going to cry about it for the next month. They stepped up and played some of their best football against the Lions when they had to have it, because you can't fall 2-4.
No.
You can't be sitting 2-3 and then be 2-4. Okay, you get Rashee Rice back in a couple of weeks. Yeah, you're putting yourself so far behind the 8 ball. This isn't the AFC West of old, or as Mike McDaniel would say. This isn't the AFC West of old where those other teams suck as well, so you can lose some games and still win. The roles are reversed. The Broncos this weekend are what the Chiefs have been for the last 7 years. And that is, you win this game, you eliminate that team from competition. 11 weeks in. That team's done. 10 games in, 11 games in, that team's out. You can now go on and focus on only one other team that you've also got the lead on. And you're good. The Chiefs are in the position of the Chargers, Broncos, and Raiders of years past, where if you lose this game, you're not winning the division.
Yeah.
Winning this game keeps you in that. Do the Chiefs answer the bell? Because it felt like they thought, hey, we're cruising, we're good. Now we got the Bills, and they laid an egg. That was not you're 3-4 against the Bills, you better show up and play great football. There's an urgency to it. There's no getting around the urgency to this game. If they show up and play their brand of football, then it's like, okay, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs when they have to have it, which is what they do in the playoffs. But if they show up and just sort of mess around with the Broncos for a little bit and don't look good, yeah, I got some worries at that point of us really talking about, do they make the playoffs?
4 words.
What?
Over my dead body.
Bleep you. That's the Therese Paylor version for you. My version is a Mahomes bleep you game. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. Coming up later on this hour, we'll hear from the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be Steve Spagnuolo and Matt Nagy and Dave Tobe and Chris Jones, and we'll see who else is going to be at the podium today. Joining us now is Kent Swanson, KC Laboratory Podcast, KC Sports Network. Kent, what's up, brother? How are you, sir?
Oh, hey, how you doing? I'm great. I'm looking forward to some Chiefs football. The bye week was awesome, but I'm excited to get back on the horse, man. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, it's a huge one. It's one that we have been thinking about for a couple of weeks now since they lost to the Buffalo Bills. And I guess before we look a little bit forward, we've had a couple of weeks now looking back on not only the Bills, but the first half of the season. This team sits 5-4. I thought they would be 7-2. Really, that one game, the Jags game, is the one that continues to stick out because if they win that game, they're 6-3 and not really much off of what I thought they would be. But as you assess the first half of the season, are they close to what you thought they would be? Are they, is there a gap between what you felt they would look like and what they've actually looked like? How do you assess the 5-4 start versus what you've seen on the field?
Yeah, I think when you look at, you see a lot of people putting the Chiefs still in high regard and like their power rankings and how teams, how people are looking at the Chiefs. I think they're right. Like this is one of this could be the best offense in football in the second half of the season. I think this is the best. I think this will be the best offense in all of the National Football League for the home stretch. And you saw glimpses of it. You saw moments, and candidly, you saw really good stretches and home games of exceptional offense from this team. And so, I think the formula has shifted a little bit back to, hey, leading with an explosive offense and a defense that's going to do just enough to get enough stops for this team to win games. But I do think there's been a lot of really bad luck for the Kansas City Chiefs in the first half, and it's really frustrating to watch because, hey, look, you talk about the Jags game. That was a catastrophic turnover. There was also another catastrophic turnover that cost them a game against the Philadelphia Eagles earlier in the year as well. And so I think, the only time the Eagles scored in that game was on short fields, and they closed that thing out with another short field because of that interception of Travis Kelce. So I think 7-2. You said 7-2.
Yeah.
I think they should be 7-2, and that's what's so frustrating. But I think the process and what you're seeing with this team, I think there's a lot to get excited about, and I think they have the talent and the ability to do what they want to do.
Do you think this is it's been a team in the past, but I'll ask about this specific team. They're coming off 3 straight Super Bowl trips, and it's, that revenge and getting back, and Travis Kelce playing at least one more year because of the taste in his mouth, and he doesn't want to retire with that. Is this a team that you think will, when the moment calls for it, be a team that steps up and plays to that level? Because there's no getting around what Sunday's game means. I mean, it calls for a team stepping up to the moment, because you lose this game, you've lost that consecutive streak of winning the AFC West. You got to worry about a wild card, and you start to put yourself in even more dire straits for what happens around the league in trying to make the playoffs. So is this a team, do you think, will have that same personality we've seen of other Chiefs teams of the past, that, okay, when the moment calls for it, they step up, they play great football, and this is just what you expect to see?
Well, I think we're about to find out. I think this is the season-defining moment for the Chiefs, is this game against the Denver Broncos, because all those things that you just said about the game against the Buffalo Bills, could be. There's a lot of arguments that could be made of the importance of that game against the Bills, and guess what? They really didn't rise to the occasion. They didn't play their best football,
right? And
I think the magnitude of the situation has increased even more, especially when you look at the scope of your division. This is the defining moment for the Kansas City Chiefs, is this week against the Denver Broncos. I tend to think that they're going to play their best football. I tend to believe that this will be coming out of the bye, some self-scouting, and knowing the magnitude and how important this is for them to get back into the swing of things and get back into true contention for the AFC West. I tend to think that you're going to see that championship DNA kind of reveal itself again in this game.
Visiting with Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. What do you make of Josh Simmons? He returns to the team, was out those 4 games, Andy Reid saying, I want to see what he looks like in practice. He's got to get out there. Let's see what he's looking like. He was a full participant yesterday. We'll start off with, do you think he plays, or do the Chiefs, have him practice for another week before he gets out there and plays against the Colts next week?
My gut tells me that they ride with Jalen Moore, just because, like, when Andy was first asked it, earlier in the week, he kind of talked about the situation. The first thing he said was, well, the guy that's playing there right now is pretty good too, right? He leads with, like, hey, Jalen Moore's pretty good. And then, he gave the dreaded we'll see about Simmons, which, that normally doesn't tend well, that doesn't lend well to seeing guys play when you hear the we'll see from Andy Reid early in the week. Just a couple of those coach speak indicators make me concerned that they're not going to be rolling Josh Simmons out there. And it's going to be Jalen Moore. So, like, I tend to think that we're going to see Jalen Moore in this game. But I don't want to disrespect Jalen Moore, but I'm happy to be wrong, because I would like to see Josh Simmons. I think he's the better tackle.
What have you seen from Jalen Moore then? Let's go that route, because against the Bills, the entire offensive line looked less than stellar. There was, some injuries and certainly things like that. But against Rousseau and against Bosa, they had some pressure against Patrick Mahomes, and he fell quickly back into some of those old habits. What have you seen from Jalen Moore, and do you think the offense and Patrick Mahomes can be what it was before that Bills game with Jalen Moore against Nick Bonino?
I think the Jalen Moore experience has been a slow deterioration, a little bit of confidence. I think watching him play, and then I think with Patrick Mahomes, I think a deterioration of confidence in what he's got going on at the left tackle spot. And not to say that Jalen Moore's been awful. He's been fine. And I think I think the last game that they came out was pretty rough. But I don't think that the catalog is as open for this play call, for the play calling with the call sheet with Jalen Moore, because I do think he has given up some quick pressure. He's giving up. You can't really drop as deep when you've got Jalen Moore protecting, your blind side. And, like, I think the Chiefs, to generate some of the vertical passing or try to generate some of their explosives, are having to lean on things not within that, true drop back game, right? So that they're having to find ways to protect Jalen Moore a little bit. So, I think he's done an admirable job, and he's super competitive every play. But, from an athletic standpoint, he's struggled to be consistent down in, down out as the sample size has grown. And that's what gives me pause. And then that's why I think, you talk about Nick Bonito. That's a terrible matchup. It is the worst, one of the worst matchups in football for Jalen Moore. A guy that has the ability to win up the arc with quick pressure, beat him off the snap, and enough power to, if you are oversetting to try to stay up the arc, he can run through you. He can go speed to power. And so I think it's a really difficult matchup for Jalen Moore to try to go up against Nick Bonito, and I think Josh Simmons is more equipped to handle it.
So here's my question about Josh Simmons, and you're saying that your gut says they ride with Moore for one more week. That feels like what the consensus is, that people are looking at it and going, it's going to be Jalen Moore. Josh Simmons was away from the team for a month. He returns, and a couple of weeks of practice. What I'm sort of struggling with, Kent, is Kareem Hunt was not on a team last year and was practicing at home and working out at home. And they signed him on September 17th on a Tuesday. He did not play that Sunday, but then he played and touched the ball almost 20 times the next week. That was, from the 17th to the 12 days after they brought him in and signed him to the practice squad, he was out there touching the ball 20 times. Running back can be integrated in slower than an offensive lineman. I get that. But Josh Simmons returned to the facility last Monday. Andy Reid talked about, some practicing and some things last week, but now getting on the practice field this week. I don't see why a man who is not recovering from an injury to his leg or anything would have to practice for 2 or 3 weeks before he can get out there and play, just because he was away from the team for 4 weeks. Other players have done that and missed 4 weeks of football and come right back in and played. I have some questions, honestly, if Josh Simmons doesn't play on Sunday.
I have a lot of questions. I mean, and this whole thing's been, shrouded in a little bit of mystery, and I'm not trying to downplay or be insensitive to, what is going on with him, but I mean, there is a lot of questions about, what exactly is going on with Josh Simmons and how he's doing. Because, look, especially with a rookie offensive lineman, I think it's a little. You're right. It's a little bit different than Kareem Hunt, right? Kareem Hunt's got the history. He knows how to play this game. He's been in this game, and playing running back and turn around and running between the tackles is a little bit different than being one of those tackles. I think. I think there's questions that you can ask about, like with Josh Simmons. Okay, so how's his weight? Did he lose weight? Did he gain weight? Because both of those things on either side of the spectrum are entirely possible with offensive linemen over the course of a month. A lot of offensive linemen have to work really hard to maintain the weight that's required to play in this league. And then there's some that, it's the inverse, right? So like, what kind of shape is he in? Does he still have the size, or is he too big, right? Like even just little questions like that over the course of a month, like I think that can kind of, bleed into this because he's been away. Like it's not just like hey, he's on IR
right,
and the Chiefs are getting to monitor him and they're getting to work with him and he's on a program. It's like he's been just completely removed from the organization for nearly a month.
Yeah.
And I think that, we're going to, I think we'll get a lot of answers here, right? Like, I think a lot of this is just kind of shrouded in mystery, and we'll never know the entire story, I don't think. But I think there's a lot of reasons why he could not be playing. And we'll see it. We'll see. I mean, like we don't know. Like I think this week will be such a huge indicator for where he's at.
Yeah. Without the information, we're left to speculate, and we haven't done it on the air. But just like in our mind, wonder. And it's funny because Monday after the Bills game, one of the things that I was going to talk about, and we ended up getting information that Josh Simmons returned to the team, and I'm like, well, that's interesting because we were just getting ready to discuss on the show. Does he care about football or not? Like, does he want to be a football player or not? I know there's some things going on at home, and that's tough, and people are dealing with personal problems. But there are people in life all over the place that have to go to work Monday through Friday that are dealing with personal problems. And, they have to make a decision every day that they wake up that I've got to do this because I need to do this. One, responsibility. Two, for family or my job or a commitment to others and things like that. Like, do you want to play football or not? And he shows back up. And this weekend to me is a little bit more of, okay, how committed to being a professional are you? Were you away from the team dealing with that stuff while still making sure you did the things you needed to do, that when you got back, you were ready to continue to play football and pick up where you left off? It's not going to be the same because you're not going up against, 260-pound men that are fast and strong and trying to turn the corner, and your drop step is also then taking on a hit. I get all that. But if you're overweight, then I have some questions about professionalism. You know what I mean? If you're out of shape, I have some questions about professionalism. If the Chiefs say he is right on weight, he's in shape, but we want to make sure that we're not going to put him out there going full speed against a guy who's midseason form and mess up a knee or something because he's trying too hard to get somewhere. We want to make sure he is ready to go. That much I would understand a little bit more than, well, he's not really game shape, or we want to see it another week or so. Like the whole mystery surrounding it is part of this conversation. But I'd like to see him play this weekend. If he plays this weekend, I'd have a lot more information about who he is behind the scenes and somebody that continues to work and put in the work while also dealing with personal matters.
Yeah, and I think the other side of that is, though, unfortunately, there is just too much open for speculation that, if he doesn't play, there could be some legitimate answers and some legitimate reasons there, too, that we may never know. And, like, that's part of what's been, that's part of what's been the challenge with trying to even just discuss this whole thing, right?
Yep.
I know that there's been some reports, right? So, Albert Breer says that, some of the things that maybe he's dealing with now have been known by teams as part of the pre-draft process, for instance. So, I think that was insinuated by Albert Breer. I know that I believe Nate Taylor came out with something that basically said, hey, look, Josh Simmons loves football. And I think some of the actions taken, at least by what the Chiefs have said about Josh Simmons, is that he does love football. How obsessed he was with his rehab and getting into the facility during the off season. So, like, I think there are some indicators that tell us that this kid cares. But I think some of the things that maybe are happening now are not, maybe there was more known about Josh Simmons than with some of these things than we have an idea on the outside. And I think that's some of the reporting and speculation right now on the outside.
I mean, look, there's a level of compliment to Josh Simmons as well, because we're only talking about this because he's vital. He means that much to this offense, because Kent, we've seen and Josh Simmons wasn't there. This is the irony of the whole thing, is that with Jalen Moore playing left tackle, we saw him against the Lions and against the Commanders at left tackle. We've seen Patrick Mahomes have a stretch of 4 touchdowns and no interceptions with Jalen Moore at left tackle. But what we saw, though, was a glimpse and a reminder of what Patrick Mahomes looked like when he had trust in his offensive line. And he didn't have that against the Bills. Had they played really well against the Bills and the offensive line held up, Kent, I don't know that it would be as much of an issue this weekend as it is sort of for me against the Broncos, because it's all culminating into this. If they were 7-2, it wouldn't mean that big of a deal, right? If Josh Simmons was just okay in the first 5 games he was out there, it wouldn't mean as much. But we know how good he is and what it could mean to the offense if you were to put Josh Simmons on an island and handles, to a degree, Nick Bonito and slows him down. Boy, what that does for the Chiefs offense, as opposed to if Jalen Moore struggles with them and you got to put a tight end, a running back to chip, and Mahomes is thinking about what's going on back there while going through his progressions. Quarterbacks have the biggest influence on how many points per game a team can score, but I think Mahomes' comfort does so much for this offense. When he trusts the offensive line, they are the best offense in football.
No doubt about it. I mean, and like that's what's been the most refreshing thing for stretches of the season is how much comfort Mahomes has had in the pocket and how confident he's played because of that. And even when he hasn't had the full complement of skill players, getting to see what this offense is capable of, just with a good a good offensive line, which is what he's had for stretches of the season. Man, it is a thing to behold. We really still haven't got to see the full reveal of this thing.
Yeah, true.
Like Xavier Worthy, has been dealing with the shoulder injury. He's been dealing with the ankle injury at times this year. We haven't seen Rashee Rice on the field while Josh Simmons is protecting him. While Josh Simmons is protecting Mahomes, we still have not got to see the full reveal of what this offense is capable of. And the hope is that we're gonna be able to sooner rather than later. I hope Josh Simmons is in a position where he's able to play. This team needs him. He's their best tackle. I think he has the talent to be the answer at the left tackle position. And just look at how significant that's been for the entire outlook of this team. They need him back, and hopefully we can get this full complement of players on the field together sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we haven't seen Rice and Josh Simmons on the field at the same time together, except for in the preseason. It would be nice one time, Kent, to see Simmons at left tackle and then Rice, Hollywood, Xavier, Pacheco, everybody on the field, just to see it one time. To see what happens one time, right? We finally got it with Worthy and Rice and Hollywood against the Raiders, but it would be cool, the entire full complement of players out there. And so hopefully it happens against the Broncos. Kent Swanson is our guest. Last one, and then we'll get your thoughts on this game, and your thoughts on the game may hinge on this question. This Denver Broncos team, they are a phenomenal defense. The offense is pedestrian. I don't have much confidence in Bo Nix. I was perfectly fine when the Broncos drafted Bo Nix last year. And so I'll be perfectly fine as long as Sean Payton says, no, this is my guy. We're going to stay with him. Thank you, Sean. So offense aside, Pat Surtain did not practice yesterday. I think it would be odd for them to have him not practice and then maybe even be limited and put him out there the game before a bye week. We'll see if they do that. But what do you think of this Broncos team defensively with and without Pat Surtain? How do you think that affects the Chiefs' offense and what they want to do?
Well, Pat Surtain is an incredible corner. He's one of the best defensive players in all of the sport. I think certainly being without him creates, some issues for this team for sure. Whoever he lines up against, for at least specifically with the Chiefs personnel, I think he shuts down. The Chiefs don't have like a ton of great outside receivers, so it's not like he's locking down. I mean, hey, we're put him on Worthy or Thornton, or a Thornton or a Hollywood, I guess, right? So in man coverage, he's shutting down whoever he plays. But I think the thing is, his defense plays enough man coverage that even without Surtain, they're still really good, and the Chiefs are going to have really good answers against man coverage, which they haven't had consistently over the course of the season. And that's something that gives me pause that despite not having Patrick Surtain, they still can match up very well with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they still have some horses in the back end of that defense. And Jahdae Barron's going to get an opportunity to step up and play more. Chris Abrams-Drain's going to get a chance, and the Chiefs are going to have to beat man coverage, and they haven't done it consistently over the course of the year. Hey, look, Xavier, I'm sorry, we're going to have to get you on some of these rub routes and crossers over the middle of the field. I know we might have PTSD with the shoulder. We're going to have to get you on some of those this week. We badly need you to get involved, trying to run away from some of this man coverage. So I still think the Broncos defense is exceptional. And they're still going to present a lot of challenges for the Chiefs because they're going to get physical. They're going to play man coverage, and the Chiefs are going to have really good answers despite Patrick Surtain's not playing.
Yeah, I wonder how much, if Surtain isn't playing, does it take them out of man coverage more often than maybe it would? They're about 60-30, and then some other things thrown in there with their zone to man, but they do run one of the lowest rates of zone coverage, do the Broncos so far this year. We'll see if that continues against the Chiefs. But, if he's not playing, I think that makes a difference, along with the fact that it's a terrible, situation, but Alex Singleton, is not going to play this weekend either. So he's going to be out with the testicular cancer surgery that he had Friday after the game against the Raiders last Thursday night. So they lose their linebacker who has played literally every snap except for 2 this year. Like, he has missed 2 defensive snaps this year for the entire season, Alex Singleton. And he's Nick Bolton, except he plays more, so which is interesting. And so that guy's not going to be there. Cooper's got a broken thumb. He's playing with the club. Surtain doesn't look like he's going to be playing. So we'll find out what that defense is going to look like against the Chiefs. What do you think happens on Sunday? Kent, do the Chiefs get a win and get back into this AFC West race?
Man, I have to tell you what, the Broncos have an exceptional defense. I think it's almost a little bit concerning and unnerving at how bad the Broncos offense has been over the last few weeks, because that just at the right time with this mini bye week, they're going to figure some things out and have some more success. And that's a scary proposition for the Chiefs, knowing that the defense is as good as it is, and then knowing that I think the offense will find its footing a little bit more in Denver, and that's a little bit unnerving for me as a Chiefs fan. Doesn't matter. 23-14 Chiefs.
Love it.
Chiefs get a 2-score victory. I don't think there's any chance that this team is going into Denver and not playing their best football. I think they'll slug it out. I think they'll find a way to get 23 across the board. And I think the defense will do some good things. Maybe an early possession touchdown, maybe a first possession touchdown drive for the Broncos, but then Steve Spagnuolo dials in and they only get one after that. But 23-14 Chiefs. So
it'd be like every other defensive game this year for the Chiefs, that they would give up the opening drive and then okay, now shut it down. I mean, even the Commanders were going to go down there and score if it wasn't for Deebo Samuel trying to eat the football on the first drive. So, appreciate, him doing that. And hey, you know what? It's great for Sean Payton because he's had 10 months, from January 12th to what will be November 17th or 16th for that great matchup that he really liked. So he's got that going for him. They really liked this matchup, so they finally get to play that game. That's awesome for him. Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Kent, you're the man as always. Appreciate it, brother. Enjoy the football. We'll talk in a couple of weeks, man.
Sounds good.
All right, there's Kent Swanson, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast. Yeah, January 12th, they lost to that Bills team by 24 points, but man, he loved that matchup the next week. It didn't take a week to get there. November 16th, January 12th to November 16th. It's a long time, but really a lot of time to get ready for that great matchup that Sean Payton loved in that particular game. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling more zone right after this. One of the things I didn't love was my testosterone level. In fact, I didn't even know what it was. I was ignorant to even know what my testosterone level was. That's why I went to Heartland Men's Health, is because the curiosity finally got to action, and that was trying to find out what the testosterone level was. Now, there was a level of curiosity just simply wanting to know, but also it was wanting to know because wanting the answers if it was related to some of the things that had been going on for me and symptoms with energy levels that weren't the same that I remember them being. Brain fog, I had no idea what it was, but it certainly was something that I was dealing with. And so, having kids, they get older and they want to do more and more things, and you get home from work and you're kind of tired. And what's the reason? Well, for me, what I found out is one of the reasons is that I was low in testosterone. And you find out that guys in their early to mid-30s start losing 2 to 3% of their testosterone production every year. It happens gradually. Before you know it, you don't feel like the same man that you did when you were in your 20s and 30s. And so what I did, went to Heartland Men's Health. You can go there as well, schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health. They'll do your lab work with you, have your results within 30 minutes. You go there, they do the lab work. You'll know before you leave what your testosterone level is, and in fact could be within 15 minutes. And then a licensed medical provider will review the results with you, discuss your options, and help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, that is $99, but that includes the medical consult, the T, and that PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, you don't pay a dime. Your visit is free. You could be back to having those higher energy levels, better gains in the gym, motivation to go to the gym, sleeping better, waking up feeling more refreshed. Maybe you're getting the hours of sleep, but you're not feeling the way that you would on a typical good night's sleep in terms of hours. The low testosterone can contribute to that. Also, not really needing to take afternoon naps, brain fog going away. Some of those things related to low testosterone. Heartland Men's Health successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. Make sure you ask them about the peptides and what they're doing and staying on the cutting edge of men's health, trying to advance and find the next steps in making sure you can live your healthiest, fullest, most active life out there. 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Thank you to Kent Swanson. I wrote down what he said there, which I thought was really interesting because it goes into something you and I talked about in the first hour, Sterling, and we were discussing how much this game on Sunday, to me at least, in my opinion, will tell us about this Chiefs team more than what we have seen the previous 9 games or more than what we will see the final 7 games after this one. Because if they no-show this game, then I don't think you're looking at the same Chiefs team we've seen in the recent past of this is a big game, they've got to play well, they're going to go and play well. That's how they've won in the playoffs. They haven't laid eggs and played stinkers in the playoffs. They've had a couple of games in the Super Bowl, which sucks, where they were done in by really bad offensive line play that they couldn't overcome. But they didn't lay a stinker against the Eagles because, to me, that defense played much better than what those final numbers indicate. But he says, Kent Swanson said here, that Sunday is, quote, to Kent, a season-defining moment on Sunday. I don't disagree. I think that's what is built up for this game. Chiefs are 5-4. They laid an egg against the Bills. They've got a bye week to self-scout, figure some things out, and they know these final 8 games, it's going to be like a playoff push for them. If you no-show after a bye, when Andy Reid has this amazing record after a bye, Sterling, and you've got the Denver Broncos and a division foe that felt like you were lucky, not better last year. They were looking forward to playing you in the playoffs because of that matchup that they felt good about. And you no-show this one. That tells me this is just a different mentality and a different team than what we have seen in recent past. I don't disagree. It's a season-defining moment for the Chiefs.
And I will point out, it's a lot easier to bring the energy, I think, on defense than offense. I just think you can see the players flying around, the hard hits, the pressure. You're going to have to bring it in this game against a really good offensive line that the Broncos have and a offense that you and I talked about a little in the break of how they thrive, and their mentality is no negative plays.
Yeah,
it's get the ball out quick, don't take sacks. There's a 35 sack differential between the defenses of what the Broncos do and what they don't do for Bo Nix. He's been sacked 11 times all year long. This Chiefs defensive line, not great. They don't get a lot of sacks. You're going to have to bring the pressure and bring it early and often in this one. Make Bo Nix uncomfortable because that's where I want to see the quote-unquote energy from. Defense, show me something. Off of a bye, you should be fresh. You should feel good. Those legs should be strong. This D-line, show me. Show me state, baby. Playing in Denver,
it's in Denver,
show
though.
me.
It's Colorado, the Sunshine State. Movie line, anybody?
Yeah, that's Dumb and Dumber.
No, it's old school.
It's Dumb and Dumber. When they go,
I think it's old school where he's he's drunk, and she says something about Denver, the Sunshine State. I could be wrong, though. I could be getting my movies mixed up. My movie lines.
Let me see it.
I thought it was old school. Denver, Sunshine State. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
I got to look it up. I'm pretty sure it was Dumb and Dumber. I might be dumb.
Or
and you could be dumber.
That's true. Yeah. Let's go a little old school. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll hear from the Chiefs. It'll be Dave Tobe, Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Chris Jones. I want that sack. It's going to be tough to get a sack against Bo Nix this weekend, but we're going to try.
All right, we're all excited for this game, but Missouri, you should be even more excited because you can show me how good you are when it comes to betting because Missouri, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming soon. Starting December 1st, we are getting so darn close. New customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. And live betting, that's the big thing here. Because when you're in Missouri, let's say you've been driving to State Line. That might be a long drive for you. But then you're not going to do that and just sit there. You can't live bet. I was at a Missouri football game last week against A&M. I totally would have bet the under live betting on Zoller's pass yards, but I couldn't. But you can soon. By the way, this is all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. It's the best way to game day right there with FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. And oh, by the way, get ready. They do bets galore, promos galore. Thursday Night Football, they have such great specials. If you're looking to try and get in on some bonus bets, Thursday Night Football on FanDuel is the place to go.
Must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
All right, we return right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's go out and hear from Dave Tobe.
Bye weeks, you have more time to study things like that? I mean, what's it like to kind of be ready to try to make those plays at that time when you really
I mean, every week we're hoping to make those type of plays. I mean, we're going as hard as we can every time on field goal block. It just happened, that we made a big play at a crucial time, and we're gonna come and we're gonna bring it just as like we always do on every down. It doesn't really change.
Are you starting to see people kick away from Nico and more towards back there?
No, not at all. I think it matters how we line up. I think that, and then the wind, those things are all, and then we kind of move guys. We want certain guys to have the ball at certain times, so we try to, put guys in a position where we think they're going to try to kick it to us in certain things. But Thornton was really good last week, or when we played last. I mean, he was, 4 returns. I think he averaged like 32 yards per return. We had a nice counter where he almost popped it, the second one. So, he's promising back there. And then Nico does a hell of a job blocking. When he doesn't have the ball, he blocks really well. So it's a good combination.
That was intentional to try and get Thornton more involved in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We want him to have the ball. Nico, I feel good with him having it too. I mean, so I like the tandem that we have back there on kick returns.
Looks like Mims practiced yesterday. What kind of threat is he?
He's great. I mean, I think one of the biggest returns we gave up last year was against him. He's dangerous, so we know he's going to be back. I mean, he's going to be out there for our game, and he's tough to handle. We have to be on our game.
Dave, can you give us an update on where Harrison is as far as?
He's had a couple good games in a row. I mean, that's great. And he's had a really good practice. I thought it was his best Wednesday practice yesterday. So, the ball's flying good right now. I think the rest might have helped him. Like we talk about, you got to go back to work, and, he does a lot. And I think this break was really good for him because he looked good yesterday. So, I mean, he had 2 good games, and, hopefully we got this thing righted.
It's been about a month since you signed Knowles to the active roster, I guess.
How
good has he been for
Excellent. I mean, he's been making tackles on kickoff, and he's playing gunner, and he's, he's fast, and he's a real instinctive player. The future's real bright for him, I think, for sure.
Couple more.
Dave, with a game of this magnitude, how do you get these guys to lock in this week?
It's easy.
Mentality perspective,
Yeah, it's easy.
They can set the tempo.
Our guys are ready. They'll be ready for this game, for sure. You can feel it already in practice, coming off a bye. They know the urgency. We've been there before. We have enough veterans. We know where we're at. We know where we stand, and it's an important game on the road. So we'll be ready.
What made you say Harrison had his best Wednesday practice?
The way the ball was rotating, coming off his foot, he was banging it, and it was true and straight, and you could just tell the difference. It just was a different Wednesday, than we've seen. So it was good to see.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
All right, there's Dave Tobe. Yeah, they face a pretty good returner. Marvin Mims returned to practice yesterday, missed the last couple of weeks with a concussion, but he's a really good, dangerous player. He said had one of the biggest returns against the Chiefs was Marvin Mims last year. And then Dave Tobe, I thought that was interesting there, asked about, this team locked in against Denver, and he said, it's easy. You can see it in practice. We know where we stand. There's an urgency that with these guys coming off the bye. Just hearing, we know what's on the line. You can see it in practice this week.
Called
ready
Foreigner. They're urgent.
Is that right? Okay.
It's a great song by Foreigner. I love that song. Urgent.
That's fine. I you know what? If I've heard it, and I think it's a good song.
You think that they're hot-blooded?
Yeah.
And they will not come out cold as ice.
Well, we'll check it and see on Sunday.
It sounds like you said Marvin Mims had a concussion.
Yeah, he was concussed.
So he's no longer having double vision.
I mean, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you cook right now.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, man. We're 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. I'll let you cook.
The Chiefs need Patrick Mahomes to be a jukebox hero. That's what they need in this game.
With stars in his eyes?
With stars in his eyes.
100%, man.
That was fun.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for entertaining me. I love Foreigner.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs are no foreigners to going into Denver and trying to come away with a victory.
They're foreigners to beating Bo Nix, or they're foreigners to limiting Bo Nix. Let me say that. They beat Bo Nix once. But Andre, who calls into the show, tweeting with me and saying about Sean Payton feeling good about the matchup, it's like, well, when you play like Bo Nix has played against the Chiefs, I can understand why you feel good. And Bo Nix was good in the game where the Chiefs won 16-14, and he had probably his best game as a pro in Week 18 with the 300-something yards, 90% completion percentage, and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. How much you count Week 18 last year or not? But an interesting point, and Andre saying, well, those are quality reps against a pretty good defensive coordinator like Steve Spagnuolo that Bo Nix has. Cortland Sutton is what worries me the most. What's the next one there? Okay, here's Spags.
I've heard that before. So it's been a while. Been 2 weeks. It's good to be back at it. Guys, we've had yesterday and then the walkthrough this morning. So it's nice when they came back in the building on Tuesday because it's not the same being a football coach without any players. So it's good. With that, I'll just open it up.
I know you're so forward thinking, but I guess back to the Bills game. What were some of the problems, especially at the second level?
Yeah, the tight end was an issue. There was, it was the first one on the touchdown. You could tell we decided to take somebody else away. He found the single coverage, and in hindsight, I'd do something differently on that one. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but so there was one, and the big long one to the tight end was just a missed technique that can easily be cleaned up that we've done 100 times. And so, you get those 2 or 3 explosive pass plays that kind of put you behind the 8 ball. You got them down in the red zone. We didn't play very good in the red zone, but all of them were really tight. And so we've talked a lot about that, and it was a little disappointing. We didn't feel like, we were all saying this in the locker room, we just didn't feel like we played our best football. We thought if we had, I think we had a decent chance to win the game, but we didn't. They played better.
Steve, when you sort of did your self-scout audit, or however you want to call it, last week, how much was it skewed by your feelings about the Bills game versus your overall view of where you are? What's your sort of biggest takeaway, I guess, of
that's a really good way to put it. We looked at obviously all 9 games and kind of put it all together, but it didn't feel great in the last one. We were feeling pretty good about, I guess, the previous games there. But, all in all, I don't think we've played our best football. I'd like to think we haven't. I do think we need to play better for where we're headed and what we're about to face, not only in the game this week, but what we got going forward. So everybody needs to step it up. It's that time of the year. I think we got guys in our unit in the locker room that recognize that and know how to step it up. So hopefully that's what will happen.
Coach, you mentioned the game this week. Historically, Sean Payton, even going back to his time with the Saints, incorporates a lot of 11 personnel. They consistently rank among the league leaders with that personnel package. What are some of the challenges and unique challenges facing the Payton offense?
Well, I think they do a really good job of changing personnel. They end up in that a lot when you do the numbers and the percentages. That's certainly the highest, and especially early in games, they're rolling a lot of people. If you've watched we'll watch the TV games, and they're rolling bodies in and out. You got to stay on top of that. That's one thing. One thing we have a little bit that we feel a little bit good about is we see 11 personnel from April. Our guys are in it all the time, so it's not something that we're uncomfortable with. But I think they do a really good job in what they have quarterback-wise and what he does really well, and I think that's why they've had some success.
Steve, what have you seen from Bo Nix this year compared to last year?
Yeah, listen, so he's a year under his belt. He looks like he has full command of what to do at the line of scrimmage. You could see that last year as the year went on. He got better and better at that. I think their coaches obviously have confidence in him now with changing plays. And he's another athletic quarterback. Those guys are always a little bit of a headache because even when you're right in what you're doing, he can make you look bad by making you miss.
Steve, you played Noah Williams quite a bit, Elijah in the trench, the slot. Was that matchup dictator?
Yeah, a little. Last week you're talking about. Yeah, it was a little bit more. Their slot play was pretty good. So, and I think we talked about this before. Every week's going to be a little bit different. We'll see where we're at this week. So,
I know it's the other side of the ball, but Hairston from Buffalo was talking about Xavier Tippin, what he was doing. I'm just curious how often you run into where you or someone on your side of the ball
can find something.
Yeah, can see that.
Yeah, we're always looking for it. the best place to get a lot of that stuff is off the TV copies, the broadcast, especially verbal things. I don't know what it was. I don't know what they were talking about there. I don't know if anybody ever discovered it, but listen, our guys, like the back end guys, are always studying wide out stances. How they align. There's, the width alignment, how close are they to the numbers, et cetera, et cetera. And if you can find something to hang your hat on, you do. It's not always easy to do because I think coaches are smart enough to change it up, but I don't know whether they had worked or not. I mean, I'm not privy to. I had heard that, but I don't even know what it was, so I'll let you guys figure it out.
Steve, you've had a pretty good pattern of about this time of year and later really getting better and better as you go. I'm sure it's a vast topic, but I mean, what do you attribute that to? That generally speaking, you guys have been able to peak defensively going into the last month.
But we have been able to do that. I hope that continues because we do need to get better. I give all the credit to the assistant coaches and the players. I mean, you got to have coaches that feed it and keep working at it, which our guys do, and then you got to have cerebral players that embrace it, want to get better. We got a lot of guys that we always talk about chasing improvement, and that's what our guys do. Not every team has that, I don't think, but we're blessed that we got guys that think that way.
Do you feel like it gives you more flexibility early,
Yeah.
that you're working towards that as opposed to it's all immediate?
Yeah, I mean, as the season goes, we try to add because we feel like we can with our guys. And I think you can only do that if you got trust in the guys.
Last three, Todd, go ahead.
Coach, you guys generally even keel, big game, little game, whatever. I mean, you're all the same. That's great. But does this feel like a little different than what you kind of had the last several years? You generally haven't been the team chasing someone at this point in the season.
It's funny. I get exactly what you're saying, and I guess if I don't do it a lot. Like I'm not one that looks around the league that much. I can honestly tell you that. I mean, and I couldn't tell you the standings of other divisions and all that. I just know I'm kind of just. And Andy's built this way, and maybe it's from working with him all those years, but it is truly what's on the plate next. I've always said, now it might be different now because we're at 17 games and not 16, but it's a race to win 10 games, or win as many as you can, and then see if that gets you in the playoffs after. So that's kind of been where the thought process is. Now, we know going to Denver, it's a division game. They're really good, Hopefully we're getting better. It's a big game, so I think our guys feel that.
Next.
Steve, how important is it to keep Bo unsettled and have a rhythm?
It's a rhythm passing game. I mean, what they're really good at is the play action, what I call movement passes, whether it's a boot or whether it's just play action and they block it up. They're really good at that. Now, that's not always easy to get them out of rhythm on those because they've got a lot of people packed in there. So a part of it comes back to tight coverage and getting them hold on the ball a little bit. And then we always talk about somebody's got to punch a hole in the protection.
Last one, Pete.
Yeah, I think I know where we could go with this, but the Giants job opened up and your name was instantly connected.
Yeah, we're good. We're playing Denver. That makes sense?
Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's Steve Spagnuolo, and yes, his name has been brought up with the New York Giants head coaching job, and that opening there, going back to his old grounds, Steve Spagnuolo to maybe be the head coach of the New York Giants. But they get ready for the Denver Broncos, as he said. We got the Denver Broncos this week. So there you go. There's Steve Spagnuolo. What he's seen in year number 2 from Bo Nix as they get ready for game number 3 against Bo Nix and the Sean Payton offense, and a lot of movement. And one of the things he said is they're rolling bodies in and out on all these different plays, all these different, from play to play, that you've got to be really on top of that. They end up in 11 personnel a lot, in which he says, well, that's good because we see 11 personnel dating all the way back to April. That's all we go up against in training camp and practices is 11 personnel because that's what the Chiefs do. So
I always like hearing him talk. It's always entertaining.
Bags. I would like to know which long play to the tight end after the touchdown was the one he was talking about that he said was just was missed technique, and he said that's easy to clean up. But he said the touchdown we decided to take someone else away, as you could see. I'm not going to tell you what we did there because he's not Maxwell Hairston. But he said the long one to the tight end was just a missed technique. That's easy to clean up. I just want to know which one. Was it the fake screen that was the technique where Brian Cook and Jalen Watson both bit on the fake screen where Dawson Knox ran past him? That was the long gain? Or was it the 40-something yarder to Dalton Kincaid when he was running an over route
Yeah.
that crossed the face of Tranquil and went right behind Noel Williams. Is that the technique that Noel Williams played too far in front of him to a player that's crossing, and then his technique needs to stay back? Or is it Dawson Knox? The technique is, you can't bite on this. Your job is this. Here's the technique that we use when we're going up against these screens, which also allows us to guard against getting beat over the top by a fake. We've done that 100 times. That's easily cleaned up. That won't happen again. I'm not sure which one it was. Both of them sucked. So
both were not ideal.
Yes, neither of them helped the Chiefs win. I will say that. Although the one with Dawson Knox was just a scheme that you beat him, the one with Dalton Kincaid was Josh Allen also had all day in the pocket. He wasn't looking at Dalton Kincaid.
No,
that was like the third or fourth progression.
That's why I keep saying pressure. It's at some point, as great as the secondary has been, and they have been, I think this secondary has been great this year. You still have to get pressure with 4 because even great secondaries will get torched when you don't get pressure.
Yeah, and he said that Noel Williams playing a lot and Trent McDuffie moving to the slot so much was just matchup driven because they've got a pretty good slot receiver for McDuffie to play there.
Khalil Shakur.
Yeah. We'll see what happens against the Broncos. I will say this. As I said when we were going to Steve Spagnuolo there, Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton is the one that scares me because he seems to always have big games against the Chiefs, and he seems to be one of the guys that McDuffie has problems with.
Sure.
McDuffie struggles against Cortland Sutton.
And I'll point out, Troy Franklin has really come on strong for them in recent weeks. Troy Franklin, for Chiefs fans who might not know a ton about this Denver roster, Cortland Sutton's the bigger name since he's been there a long time. Troy Franklin is really starting to catch up as far as that wide receiver one for that team.
And Marvin Mims, the big play threat.
Yeah, they don't have the biggest names on the Broncos. They don't have the best players in the playmaking group and core. But Troy Franklin's a guy who is starting to get a lot of looks from Bo Nix, and he is playing some good football right now.
Well, and what Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, for that matter, did against the Chiefs, Sean Payton's probably looking at Evan Ingram and saying, this is what we can do as well. Here's Matt Nagy.
There's a little bit of both. We're able to really dive into the self-scout part. I think that's important. See any tendencies that you might have. Everybody does that. I think sometimes it's telling what you think you might be doing well or not doing well, and sometimes it's flipped. So you hit on that, but then at the same point in time, division game coming up against a great football team. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can and using that time off to work ahead as well.
So is the former is the self-scout, is that stuff pretty revealing sometimes?
It can be. Yeah, there's you get the numbers every week, and it kind of tells you where you sit in regards to the rankings. Some coaches take those rankings and they care, I should say politely, they care more or less about some more than others. But at the same point in time, it's important that if you're doing something well, how do you keep it that way? Because the defense is looking at you to stop it. And then at the same, you're also trying to see what are we not doing well, and you usually tend to focus more on that, and then you got to put it into action.
When we talked to Patrick, he was his self-evaluation against Buffalo said getting through his progressions and also not getting rattled. I guess, what did you see against Buffalo?
Really, to me, when you look at it from a bigger picture, you look at it from not so much individual. The thing that stuck out, and we talked about as a team and as an offense, is we started off that game with 3 and out. And then we came out in the second half. We started off the third quarter. We went 3 and out. We were not efficient at the end of the half with getting a touchdown. We got a field goal from the 1-yard line. And they stopped us on 4th down. So the things that we've been good at most of the year, we struggled with. And that's a credit to Buffalo. They did a great job of putting us in those positions, and they're a good football team. So to Pat's always going to be hard on himself. We as coaches want to see schematically where can we be better, and then now you got to be able to respond. It's not going to be an easy year. It's not going to be an easy week. As the weeks go on, you win or lose. You got to. How do you handle adversity?
It's one day and one practice. What did you see from Josh in his first day back?
I thought he did well. Again, excited that he's back in the building. But like you said, it's one practice. Keep that going and just see where that goes.
Matt, with the Broncos defense that can cause you problems at all 3 levels, what type of mindset do the offense have to have this week?
Well, that's the very first thing that jumps out on tape is you go back to some of the statistics and you see the one thing that jumps out to me is, red zone wise, it's not just this year that they're number one. They're good every year. So I think Vance Joseph does a great job at doing some things schematically. He's got great players. That jumps out, making sure we're efficient there. And then just you look at that front. I mean, they lead the league in sacks. They make game-changing plays, which I think is very important. That if you stay in, that's the other thing in the Buffalo game. We had a ton of 3rd and 8, 9, 10 pluses in that game. Stay out of those. They know that, but we know it too, and we got to figure out ways to do it. But they're really good across the board. They've lost some valuable players too, and they're still good. So that's a credit to them.
And you just mentioned the 3rd downs. You were by yards per carry. You're pretty effective. Kareem's
Mm-hmm.
pretty effective, but you couldn't stay on the field to get him the carries. But you feel like the run game is kind of hitting with him, even though you didn't have the big total yards last week?
We do. We feel good about that, and I agree with you in the game there versus Buffalo. We had some good things going, and sometimes it's just the rhythm. But big picture for us, as we look at kind of how the year has gone, where we feel with our run game, we feel like internally as an offense that we like some things we're doing, and we want to grow from that. It's so important in these times, especially this time of the year where the weather changes. You can't be one-dimensional, number one, and number two, you always got to be able to run the football. Sets up play action, screens. So we like where we're at. We want to keep that going, and it's going to be a super big test against a great defense.
One other from Buffalo. Hairston mentioned that
Yeah.
Xavier was tipping thing. What do you do on that? How do you go back and examine and try to see, or is it just a guy talking smack?
No, I think there's some stuff in there. When I say big picture is, I don't know. We're always looking at our guys. We're always trying to help our guys out with tendencies, not just schematically, but what they're doing as well. So the guys know it. We do that every week, and I don't know where he was coming from with that, other than just saying what he felt. And so let's be able to stay on top of that stuff, look at it, and respect that.
Coach, you mentioned the Broncos sacks. I mean, 15 players on that defense has at least a sack. How do you scheme against something like that, and how important is it for the offensive lineman to trust the guy to the right or left?
Huge. That communication is massive. They're good enough as is one-on-one. So you just go one-on-one, they're really good. Then you throw some stunts and some blitzes and second-level guys coming into it. Then you throw the communication part. They're good at it. So, we just got to make sure schematically that we understand we like where we're at as an offensive line. We like where we're at with our protections. So, and then in the run game, that's critical too. Let's just make sure we understand, we respect how good they are, but we'll put together a plan. They put together their plan, and then we go butt heads and see where it lasts. But ton of respect because they're really good and they've been that way.
Couple more. We'll start with Pete.
Thanks. It's been a few games since you had Brown, Worthy, and Rice available. I guess as you kind of scouted those games, do you feel like you're maximizing their ability on the field together?
As much as we can. There's times you kind of look back after a game and you look at some of the play time, where guys are and then where they at schematically. But like Coach said, week one, there's only one football. And I think when our guys understand that, which they do such a great job. I've been saying to everybody in here when we talked, the amount of selflessness that we have on this team. And I'm with it, internally with the offense, I see it. And you love that. And then as a person that's a part of this as an offensive coordinator, you got to also do the therapy of making sure guys understand they might not have a bunch of catches or targets, but they're involved another way, and they got to appreciate that.
Are there any ways you hope to be better against the pressure than you were against the Bills?
Yeah, I mean, there's ways that we think we want to use. I'm not going to get into it schematically, obviously. No, I know. Internally here, but we feel like we have a good plan, and we know that, and they got good players. We like our offensive line players, and it's just about two good teams going at it, big game, big division game, and that's what I think everybody wants.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. All right, see you.
All right, there's Matt Nagy. We'll hear from Chris Jones here in just a little bit. There is a little bit of a break between Nagy and Chris Jones. We'll take that with them. We'll come back and talk about and hear from Chris Jones and then talk about what Matt Nagy, Steve Spagnuolo, Dave Toub had to say getting ready for a massive matchup with the Broncos. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll head out to Arrowhead when Chris Jones gets to the podium. Continue to talk about things that we've heard in the press conference. I wanted to pass this along as well. This came out about 30 minutes ago or so at ESPN. This is so great, man. So the NFLPA has the surveys that we've seen the players weigh in and about the workplace conditions, the food, the plane, the training table, the nutrition, the trainers. The NFL has now filed a grievance against the NFL Players Association asking the union to stop its annual team report cards, stating that the exercise violates the collective bargaining agreement by airing public criticism of teams. The league claims the report cards, which poll players on various aspects of working conditions, violate a CBA clause that says NFL owners and the union must use reasonable efforts to curtail public comments by club personnel or players which express criticism of any club, its coach, or its operation and policy, end quote. That's in the CBA. The NFLPA told their reps that we acknowledge that we have received this. We are also going forward with our report and our survey for this year that we have out to players right now.
If it were me, I would send it back and say, and you can quote, kick rocks.
Yes.
And quote, pound sand.
Yes. A team executive told ESPN, it could make you better, but they don't share how. They just take snippets to embarrass people without sharing the data. I would say that it's worked, though. I mean, teams have taken the criticism and have acted. Like here locally, Clark Hunt has taken the criticism and has acted. Yeah. And there have been improvements to that. Like, it's fine. You take a survey and what's going on. This is what's going on. Okay. You know what? Show up with A's across the board. That can attract other free agents. Money does that as well. So just passing that along. That came out about 11:45. Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta Jr. Writing about that outside of Don Van Natta Jr. writing about the conspiracy that the NFL is rigged for the Chiefs. Interesting, a guy who's so focused on facts and reporting would go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy. But that's neither here nor is it there.
Speaking of there, Chris Jones is not there.
Not yet. Not yet, sir.
Hopefully this is the only break he takes and doesn't take one during the Denver game.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy. Hearing from Matt Nagy, obviously Josh Simmons is part of the conversation. He was asked what Josh Simmons looked like. He said he did well. Excited he's back. It's one practice. We'll just see how it goes or where it goes. Just see where it goes. Yeah. I had to read my chicken scratch as I was writing as he was talking, but he did well in the one practice. We're excited that he's back. But it is only one practice. He was a full participant in the practice. Now, was he full participant running with the ones? Or was he full participant and the backup to Jalen Moore?
Sure.
Don't know. Have no idea. Hopefully he's a full participant running with the ones. That's what I would like to see. He also talked about, I thought this was pretty interesting, in talking about the things the Chiefs have done well this year. And they didn't do that against Buffalo. The Chiefs have been really good outside of one game where I complained and said, well, they're just not doing this effectively. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, actually, maybe look up what's happened and then give your opinion, jackass. They've been good at end of the half and to start the third quarter. They've been good at those things outside of the Jags, which was that 8 minutes that we said was really bad. They have been really good on fourth downs. And they have started games pretty good offensively, not just coming out and going 3 and out. And he said against Buffalo, because he was asked, Mahomes versus Buffalo and what Mahomes said about the progressions and as the game went on and everything. And he said, well, looking back at that game, he said, we started 3 and out. The third quarter, we started 3 and out. We got no TD at the end of the half. They stopped us on fourth down. Those are the things that we've been good at this year. That's absolutely right. I mean, it can be simplistic when you break it down like that. How you start the first and third quarter, how you end the second quarter, and your effectiveness on fourth downs. And that got him against the Bills. The Bills controlled every aspect of that.
I have the numbers for you. The Chiefs this year on fourth down The Chiefs are 16 of 20, 80%. 16 of 20 overall on 4th down.
Now they are 16 of 18 when it's not they're 2 of 2 on desperation, 4th and like 9s and 4th and 17s,
Yeah,
Chargers and that one. So that's kind of crazy. But the 4th and reasonable, they're 16 of 18.
It's
or excuse me,
14 of
14 of 18. Thank you.
The 16 of 20, so they're 80%
Yeah.
on 4th down. Their opponents, want to take a guess what the opponents are?
I couldn't even venture a guess, to be honest with you.
All you
I'm going to say that they're like 65%.
I was going to say like 62%.
23%.
Like I said.
Opponents are 4 of 17 on 4th down against the Chiefs.
Pretty crazy, man. They have dominated 4th downs, and they're 5 and 4.
57% better.
I'll be honest, like those are, if we were looking at it at a team that hadn't been to 3 straight Super Bowls and hadn't had this sort of just group of players and coaches that find ways to get it done and win these games and win in the playoffs, if we were looking at it and viewing those things and then saying this team is 5 and 4 and they are +4 in the turnover margin this year, and they are 80% success rate on 4th downs while holding their opponents to less than 30% success rate on 4th downs.
Less than 25.
Yeah, then with roughly the same amount of attempts.
Yeah, 20 to 17.
And they're 5 and 4. What you would say is this team is about to hit a regression from 5 and 4. Like they did all that just to get to 5 and 4. So what happens now if they're not converting 4th downs, other teams are, and they don't win the turnover battle in these games? What happens then? I mean, that's honestly, if we're being realistic, if we're looking at this team this year from all aspects, I mean, I know there's an element, certainly in this town and certainly with me, that 2023 changed the way that I've watched the regular season with the Chiefs because they went to Baltimore, or Buffalo, they went to Baltimore. It was like you don't have to have the Arrowhead Invitational every single year to go to the Super Bowl.
I will say this. The reason why, I do agree that as great as that is, it can also be a little alarming as far as the variance aspect
It's like
of
the
this.
Royals last year with 2 outs, 2 out RBIs and 2 out runners in scoring position, what they were batting in not 2025 but in 2024.
Yeah.
Like, is that sustainable? No, it's not.
They do average 8.4 points per game more than their opponent.
Yeah.
When it's broken down in that regard, I know it's not equal and all that, and that's crazy that they're 5 and 4. They average 26.1 points per game. Opponents are 17.7. The reason why the Chiefs have been so good is because offensively passing, they're one of the best teams in the NFL, and defensively they've done a great job. They give up 187 yards through the air per game. I know they haven't played the best quarterbacks, Mariota and stuff, but
they gave up only 70 to the Raiders. That helps.
That does help.
But they
And
also
Marcus
gave up.
Mariota.
They also gave up only 94 to the Eagles. So like they've had 2 games where they've given up less than 100 passing yards. One was the Raiders, Geno Smith. The other one was the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Now they have struggled at times to throw the ball, but not to the tune of 94 yards passing.
Correct.
Like it was in that particular game. If we want to look at and say what would be the things that show that this 5 and 4 record is closer to what the Chiefs are, and 5 and 4 the rest of the way to where the Chiefs are really going to struggle to make the playoffs, you would say, okay, so just how good is this defense? Because against a healthy-ish Los Angeles Chargers team where all they had was without Ronnie Stanley, they had Joe Alton there.
Rashawn Slater,
like I said. I don't know why Stanley was playing for the Chargers instead of the Ravens that game.
It was flat Stanley, that's why.
I get it.
Yeah.
They gave up 27 points. They played the Russell Wilson New York Giants and gave up the 9. They played a banged-up Ravens team where Lamar left the game in the third quarter and they gave up 20.
In fairness to that one, Lamar was doing nothing in that game.
I don't disagree.
Lamar did nothing in that game.
Jacksonville, they gave up 31, and including the final drive where they couldn't get a stop. Detroit, they gave up 17, but that was more defense was banged up, so I'm not going to take anything away from that. And the Commanders had Marcus Mariota out there instead of Jaden Daniels.
I think
the Bills had the Bills team, and they gave up 28.
The games that give you the most optimism are the Ravens when they had Lamar in the game, and they just stopped. I mean, Lamar looked befuddled, confused, bamboozled. He had no idea what was. He was flummoxed and perplexed. I mean, there was
a lot of different adjectives, man. Well done, man.
Confused.
Yeah.
I don't think I used that one yet. So he was
I'm
startled.
confused by how you came up with all of those on the top of your head.
Just off the dome.
Yeah.
No, I read them all down beforehand to make sure I use them.
It's smart. You hide the answers in your head so the teacher doesn't know you're cheating.
So that game stands out to me as far as the upside of this defense is what they did against the Ravens. And then again, against the Lions, who the Lions have looked the part against basically every other team outside of the Chiefs. They looked, again, out of sync. The Lions have put up 52, 38, 34, 37, 17, 24, 24, 44.
Yeah.
Before the Chiefs game, in a row, the fewest points in a game they had scored was 34. Against the Browns, who I know as bad as the Browns' offense is, folks like to say the Browns' defense is still really, really good. They went 52, 38, 34, 37, 17 against the Chiefs.
Yeah. And those losses, too, like against the Chargers, they were even in turnovers, no turnovers for either team. Against the Jags, they were +1. That's another thing that's sort of like crazy is that you're +1 against the Jags and you lose that game in turnovers. You were -1 against the Eagles and -1 against the Bills. And you lost those games by 3 and 7. And you also, while being -1, you also got stopped on 4th down, which is what Spags was talking about in that game when it was like, 4th and 3 around midfield early in the game, which I think then made Andy Reid a little hesitant to go for it right before half on 4th down.
I keep going back to this.
Go back to it.
And I hate making this such a simplistic, one-sided issue. The defense has only one issue. The offense only has one issue.
Mm-hmm. Is it the line of scrimmage on both in terms of running game and
yes,
and rushing the passer?
It's
rushing, rushing on both sides, the passer and the football.
And because I don't think that pass pro's actually been overall. I know we like to say you got to protect Patrick. They have.
I think it's been fine,
overall, I think some of those sacks too are Patrick. It's what he does. He holds onto the ball a while. He tries to make plays. That's who he is. You live with that, okay? But they're not the best run block. But they've been fine. It's just the running backs, and not even sometimes their fault, they don't stick with it. That's also on Andy or Nagy, or whoever you want to put the blame on. Sometimes they go away from running the football even when it has been effective.
I blame Kirby more for some reason.
I blame Kirby too. Now, defensively, again, it's one thing. I think the secondary is outstanding. I think the linebackers, for the most part, Bills game excluded, the majority of the season, this linebacking core has been very, very good. They cannot get a pass rush. 5 sacks for Karlaftis, and then 2 for Minahu, 2 for Chris Jones, 2 for Drew Tranquil, 1.5 for Leo Chanel. I mean, this is just unsustainable. It's just you cannot have this lack of a pass rush with 4 or even 5 at times and expect any sort of consistency on defense. It is too much to ask of even a great secondary.
Yeah, you can't just, I mean, we have been talking for 3 years now where Spags discusses pressures. Oh, well, you start with pressures. Pressures are so important. Yeah, I know. Like this, it's one of those to where we talked about this with Sean Payton on Friday when he was asked about the record being 8-2, and said, no buts. No buts. We're 8-2. That's all. It's like if your record is not as great as you think it is, you'll focus on some other things. If your record is better than what maybe you're playing at, well, then the record is all that matters. If you're not sacking the quarterback, then you focus on, but we're getting pressures. And pressures really matter. Okay, pressures. But if you're sacking the quarterback, you know what you're talking about? Yeah, well, those sacks, they end drives. I mean, it's so crucial when you bring the quarterback down. You know what I mean? Like sacking the quarterback, bringing them down, that negative play, those are drive killers. You need those. Well, yeah, if you're not getting them, you focus on the pressures. When you're getting them, you focus on what's real, and that is actually bringing the quarterback down. Pressures help. I'd rather have a team that's pressuring the quarterback than not, because pressures typically lead to sacks, right? You can't have a sack without having a pressure. But you'd like the team to sack the quarterback because those end drives. Look at the percentage of drives that have a sack in that drive that result in a punt.
4 guys for the rest of the year I really have my eye on. I still believe in Karlaftis doing what he's doing, which has been a very good player.
His pressure numbers say that he should have more sacks than what he has right now.
His
so
pressure numbers have almost shown him to be nearly elite, which is wild to say.
I don't think he is.
I agree, but I'm saying what those show.
Yeah.
You can count on him to at least be very good to good.
Yeah.
Between Charles Omenihu, Chris Jones, Jerry Tillery, who was brought in to rush the passer from the inside. That was his gig, right?
Yeah, and I was brought in to dunk the ball at 11 feet. Neither of us are doing what we were brought in to do then.
Ashton Gelati.
Well, we'll see.
Those 4 guys, at least 1 to 2, have to step up.
You know what I'd like to see? More playing time for Gelati over Omenihu. Because if we're
He's
really
been getting that, and it's not
that's
resulted
fine. But
in.
if we're really talking, but who's got a better chance of improving as the season goes along? Who's got a better chance of wearing down? Like, Omenihu is who he is. Fine, whatever. Good depth piece. Put him as depth piece. Gelati, you drafted in the 3rd round. He's a rookie. Hopefully, he will continue to progress and ascend as he gets more and more used to going up against offensive linemen, tackles, game plans, hand usage, setting guys up and pass rushing, things like that. And Spags' defense. I'd like to see Gelati out there playing a lot more, especially if you've got a lead.
Yeah.
Well, then that's an opportunity to get him out there and playing a lot more. In fact, same thing with Jeffrey Bassa. Because Bassa's going to be one of your linebackers next year because you're not going to bring back both Chanel and Tranquil.
Sure.
One of those guys is not going to be there. You drafted Bassa for a reason. He's going to be a linebacker. And if you have trouble covering the tight end, well, you've got Bassa on this team. So maybe that can be more playing time for him, areas of improvement there for this particular football team. I'd like to see Gelati playing a little bit more. Did you name all the guys that you had your eyes on?
And then of one more guy who was released today by the Saints. Who I hope.
Colin, not Kalen?
Colin Saunders.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 1 o'clock, we'll play some sports or leisure. We thought maybe Chris Jones might want to play some sports or leisure with us in the 1 o'clock hour, but he is now heading into the media room to talk with the assembled media. Here is Chris Jones.
Rivalry, a lot on the line in this game. Just talk about kind of the vibes in the locker room, kind of the atmosphere this week going into it.
Division game, we know is very important for where we want to be at the end of the year. So this game kind of counts as 2 games. Last year was very, very close physical games. So got a lot of respect for those guys, and we know what they bring to the table. So we're going to prepare well and be ready to play Sunday for 35. If I'm right.
Chris, you're able to Will Mike Pennell back here. Do you go back to the same energy when you see Colin?
Absolutely. You got to get my brother back. Vet Breach and those guys do a really, really good job is getting us depth and getting guys that are familiar with the system back. So hopefully he's one of those guys that we can get back in the system.
Chris, how beneficial was the bye week for you? And just when you look back at your performance throughout the last couple of weeks, just how much can you improve on going into this back half of the season?
How was my performance?
I mean, I'd say you did pretty good overall, but I'm sure you have things that you would like to improve upon.
Yeah, we always got room for improvement. I think that's the goal throughout the season, be limitless. Don't hold no cap over yourself. And, the first half of the season for me was challenging, to say the least. But we got 8 more games to play. It's a lot of football left, and a lot of things can happen. It's never really how you start in this game. It's how you finish. Because the first 8 weeks or 9 weeks, it's kind of over, when you think about it. You don't know what we did the first 4 games. We lost a few, but you don't know what happened throughout the game. So that's the beauty of an NFL season. It's a marathon. And the journey of the marathon is longevity. So when you look back at the end of the season, then you probably see a different team than you see at the first 8 weeks, or a different player that you've seen at the first 8 weeks of the season.
Chris, when you said it's challenging to say the least, can you expand on that?
Challenging as in personal aspect and challenging as a team aspect. I think for me right now, I wish we was undefeated. I feel like I could have done some things better that put us in a better position. You go back to the first game of the season, I gave up outside contain. Maybe if I would have kept outside contain, maybe that's a game that it's not a loss, it's a win. So, the beauty of the bye week is self-evaluation. You can look at yourself and see how you can improve. Not anything else, just yourself. And I'm my biggest critic. I hold myself accountable more than anyone can. So, when I look at it, it's a lot of areas I can improve on. And we got a beautiful second half of the season for me to do that.
And I know that you've concentrated on a lot of the Broncos and their offense and their offensive line, but I wonder what your appreciation you have for what their defensive line has been able to do this year.
Good for them. No, don't really watch their defense. I have a lot of respect for their defense, but we play 2 different types of systems. Those are 3-4, which rush the passer with 5-4 guys. We're a 4-3 that still simulated pressure. So different schematics, different type of makeup of defense. But I have a great deal of respect for BT Jordan, who is a pass rush coach over there, and their defensive coordinator.
Chris, when you do your self-evaluation, are you digging in the film? You just do it thinking back through games, going over it with anyone else? What's that process like for you during the bye week?
Well, it's a little bit of both, because you watch film, you watch the games that for me, it's about games I didn't play as well to my standard as I wanted to. And I have a few mentors. I call like Britt Reed. Me and him are still very close. I call Terry Braden. Guys that I'm very close with within the football circle. I call, get their opinion, because it's all about being limitless. And, and the beautiful thing about it is, man, it's 8 more weeks. 8 more weeks, then playoffs. So it's a good thing. It's a good way to recalibrate, recircle yourself. Understand it's not all good, but it's not all bad either. Yeah.
A couple more. So when this week you guys are a couple games behind the Broncos. This is not where you guys have generally been. You've been the team who's ready to snuff the division out at this point of the year. Does it feel different around here that you guys are chasing this week than it's been the last several?
Every makeup of every team is different, and every marathon is different every year. Sometimes you start ahead of the race, you know what I mean? You start in the number one line, who is the closest, and sometimes you got to start up back. But for us, most importantly, it's about the climb. I think we're exactly where we need to be right now. We got a lot of great guys on this team, exceptional leaders and the coaches and our athletic department, and we got the team to do it. And where we at right now is where we need to be, and it's a great start. We get this 1-0 every week, and we'll be where we need to be at the end of the season. No need to panic.
What do you see from Bo Nix and just the Broncos offense as a whole?
They're killing it. They're playing well. They makes the game very easy for them, and they slow the game down for them. Play action passing, running the ball. When you can run the ball as efficient as they've been running, then it opens up for the quarterback with play action passes. So they've been doing a really, really good job. They got a head coach who I respect the heck out of. Seen him this summer over in Vegas. Said a couple words to him. So, I'm excited to play these guys, man. Division game is always tough, and it's the Denver Broncos. Y'all take care.
All right, there's Chris Jones getting ready for the Denver Broncos. And, yes, he would like Colin Saunders back in the building. I mean, most everybody thought the same thing once he was released. It's like, oh, okay, well, the Chiefs are 17th in the waiver wire. Do they claim him off waivers and bring him in, just get somebody else back in the fold? That's getting the old band back together because Mike Pennell's there. But, yes, Chris Jones would like Colin Saunders back with the Chiefs, just as Mike Pennell was back with the Chiefs. Get his guys back.
I'd be a little surprised if he got claimed by another team. I'm not saying Colin Saunders isn't a fine player.
I don't know if I haven't watched.
He's a rotational piece,
I don't know what he would bring to the Chiefs, and if there's teams in the 16 that are ahead of the Chiefs with worse records that would say, nope, Colin Saunders, let's bring this guy in. Maybe it is. Maybe they're worse than the Chiefs because they have more personnel issues than the Chiefs do, and they claim him off waivers. But yeah, I would. Not knowing what kind of player he's been, he was released. So
he's played in only 2 games this year. He's 29. I just
right. And they get different usage out of different people. So Mike Pennell playing 28 snaps over a course of 3 weeks for the terrible Bengals defense, and it's like, okay, you come into Kansas City, then you outplay, as in snaps. You have more snaps in the game than Derek Nottie. You immediately get placed into his role, and you have a higher, a bigger role in that game than Derek Nottie did, and he played the previous 8 games as your guy. So who knows what they'll do with Colin Saunders. But we do know this, they love bringing the guys back that they have familiarity with. And so there is zero part of me that would be surprised in any way, shape, or form if Colin Saunders was brought back. I don't know that it's an answer, but maybe he clears waivers and it's a practice squad spot for Colin Saunders. Who knows? We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling. More Zone next.
Saunders to KC is probably one of the few things you actually can't bet on FanDuel. And Missouri, y'all get ready. Number one, that's right, number one sportsbook in America, FanDuel, is coming soon. Starting December 1st, new customers in Missouri can get up to $300 in bonus bets when you make your first $5 bet. From touchdowns to home runs to three-pointers, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. If you know me, I love betting on the NBA. One of my favorite things to do on FanDuel with live betting is when a team in the NBA gets down 15, 20 points, the odds really start to shift. But in the NBA, 15 to 20 points, quite frankly, that's a good 4 minutes of ball. It shifts so quick. I love betting on the underdog in the NBA when they get down just like that. And you can do this all on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. FanDuel is the best way to game day, and it's coming soon to Missouri. So all you need to do, visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to learn more. This way, you'll be all set to bet when FanDuel goes live in Missouri on December 1st. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri.
Must be 21 plus and present in Missouri. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Offer starts 12/1/2025. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG.
All right, wrapping up this hour. We got Sports or Leisure coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, 913-381-810-810. Some sports.
Leisure.
Or sports.
Leisure.
Sports.
I just had a leisurely cookie.
You did. Yummylicious cookie. I had a couple of those yesterday.
Yummylicious cookie.
And like I said, I had a couple of those yesterday.
They're a Casey company.
Boy.
They're a healthier cookie.
Baby.
Dude. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah. Pretty pretty good.
So I'm excited. I'm in my leisure mode, and
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
be so much of a hard ass.
You know what? The next hour, we're in our sports or leisure era. It's an hour-long era.
I hate it. Break.
Nope.
You're into sports, but nothing wrong with a little leisure time. Why not both?
You're going to have a heart attack by the time you're 40 if you don't learn to relax.
It's time for sports or leisure on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
All right, let's play a little sports or leisure on this Thursday edition. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Thursday. Make sure you get out and enjoy it. It ain't going to be like this for long. It's going to be very cold soon. Eventually, maybe. We'll find out. But the next few days, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. We are playing some sports or leisure. $25 we give away to Johnny's Tavern. You got to earn it. We give it away to the winners if you get both a sports and a leisure question right in a game we call sports or leisure. 913-381-0810 is the phone number to join us. First in, first on. Johnny's Tavern with 10 area locations, premier sports bar, including Lawrence and Topeka. Last night, the coaches show there in Lawrence with KU. I believe it was the soccer coaches show last night as a bye week for Lance Leipold. They had the soccer edition last night, which was interesting to listen to. We're driving around and heading to Little Man's basketball practice, and so tuning into that, getting ready for their playoffs upcoming. So Brian Haney's very good at what he does. I don't care what you think, Sterling. I'm tired of all the things you say about Brian Haney. Oh, I hate the person that he sounds like. Oh, anybody that Brian Haney looks like is stupid.
Well, that part, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like the way he sounds.
It's dumb that you would say that. No,
well,
who he
like
sounds like. You don't like someone he sounds like. That's what you're saying.
No, because he looks like you.
But people say we sound alike, too, at times.
Oh.
But I don't know that we do.
No, I like him. Yeah, I don't like people who try and copy him.
Who's older? I actually don't know. I don't want to say that because he might be. I don't know. I'm not doxing his age. You know what I mean? But
you're not gonna rock chalk it
nope.
up.
But next week, go ahead and mark that. By the way,
no.
It's from Sterling.
Stop!
You're the big fan.
Stop!
You're the big fan guy, fanning it up. Fannie Mae over here.
I'm a KU football fan now.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop
this guy. Stop it. 10 locations with Johnny's Tavern, including Lawrence and Topeka. And Monday, we'll see what percentage off a large specialty pizza, dine-in only at Johnny's Tavern locations, how much that will be with the percentage off of how many points the Chiefs score. So hopefully you are enjoying 50% off. I was going to say like 30% off. Why stop there?
Why stop
Why stop at 50? But wait, there's more. What if it's 100% off? What if you just walked in and said, I'd like that pizza? The buy one, get one. Is it still buy one, get one? Is it still the BOGO? Yeah, I'll take the free one. We have to buy one. No, I don't want to. I just want the free one.
That's when the go
but
part.
I think like you don't understand the buy one, get one. You said it was I want the get one part. I don't actually want to buy the thing. But if it's 50, that's a buy one, get one. That's what that is. You know what I mean? All right, 913-381-0810 is the phone number. $25 to Johnny's Tavern on the line. You get a sports question, you get a leisure question. You get them both right, you win. Either of them wrong, you lose. The question is out there available for someone to call in and request if they know the answer to it, or if they have phoned a friend. Then they may know what the answer is at that point. The categories are, we have the Gold Glove. We have a couple questions left from Gold Gloves. We have Chiefs and Broncos questions. These are questions around players that played for both the Chiefs and the Broncos. And we have general NFL. What about leisure?
We have 4 left in Name That Movie.
Okay, yeah,
so
4 layups left.
Not only 4.
You got 4 back cut layups for you.
Riddles. Still have riddles. And we're bringing back one-hit wonders. On the one-hit wonders, they're not going to be the easiest. Some are easier than others. But they're really fun, and I hope you guys like it. They'll all be songs that you know, but they're a little tougher, and I think it's going to be fun. I think we should enjoy the one-hit wonders, and it shouldn't always be just free gimmies.
Yeah, thank you for the full explanation about the one-hit wonder category. That'll help people out a lot, whether they're going to choose it or not.
Well, at some point they're going to have to because they're going to run out of stuff.
I just want people to know that Chiefs and Broncos, that some questions are more difficult than others. And general NFL, some questions are more difficult than others.
Hey, I'm an honest man.
I'm just messing with you. I will always mess with you because I defend Brian Haney with you constantly.
Yeah,
you don't
good
defend
call.
Brian Haney? You don't like him?
I defend Brian Haney.
Okay, yeah.
You guys
Cool.
slandered him.
Never.
Not
I've
me.
never, not once have I done that. That's
Jason
my,
has.
That's my brother
saying
from another
that
mother.
He looks like him is I feel bad because Haney's way more better looking.
I feel like
looking
Sterling
like doesn't
sounds
mean that I'm
more
better.
like him than Jason
No,
does.
Sterling is Jim Rome. Dude,
Rackham.
when I first started, when I came back, people were like, "Is Brian Haney hosting the show? Is that Brian?" People have come up to Brian Haney and was like, "Hey man, really enjoy. Hate the show." He said that they've come up and said really enjoy the show. I don't know. It's kind of like the mom saying you look good. You know, no, your singing was really good. You're supposed to say that. You're my mom. But no. Just because I said we may look alike doesn't mean I'm saying I'm better looking than he is. That's inferred by you, Sterling. If you heard that, that says more about you than it says about me. That's all I'm saying.
Rock chalk it up.
That's right.
Nope.
He wants sports or leisure. He gets sports or leisure. Let's go to Charles leading us off, 913-381-0810. Actually, I'm ready to go. Sterling, you ready?
Yes.
We didn't even ask
I'm
if Michael's...
tingling with excitement.
I'm going to say that again.
I am tingling with excitement.
Just wanted to get a clean cut of that. Charles leads us off here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Charles, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Leisure, Chiefs and Broncos, please.
Okay.
Sports.
Yes,
Chiefs
sir.
and Broncos.
All right, let's go with this one. He caught a lot of flack from Broncos fans for leaving in the middle of the season to go catch passes in Kansas City. He had no problem dishing it out right back at him. But take caution in Google searching his famous line to a reporter talking about the Broncos. The word on can quickly be changed to in when Googling on the internet.
It's a good call. This is a good one.
Charles?
Yeah.
What do you think? You know who that is?
Eddie Kennison.
Yes, it is Eddie Kennison. Yes, make sure you put the parentheses on when you're searching the line of put something on the ass, because it will correct you for no reason whatsoever. Leisure.
Or it might take you somewhere you don't want to go.
Exactly right. Yes, it will. That's according to Corey Anderson. He searched it. I did not.
Well, maybe it sent him somewhere that he wanted to go.
Maybe. I don't know. He wanted to go to Kansas City and catch touchdowns from Trent Green and play for Dick Vermeil, and he did that. Really, he wanted to come to Kansas City and host a show with me. Oh, that was very nice of him. Sterling, you're up.
Don't add the head coach's name in that search either, probably.
Put something on the ass, Dick Vermeil.
Yeah, I'd probably make sure you stay away from that one, too.
That's fine. Whatever you want to do. Yes. Leisure with Sterling.
Name that movie, one-hit wonders or riddles.
Name that movie.
All right, name that movie. Lots of people go to college for 7 years.
They're called doctors, dude.
Lots of people go to college for 7 years.
Yeah, they're called doctors.
You know, I got a D-. That's not a grade they typically give out. Yeah, we know, man. We know. We've heard you talk about it.
Tommy Boy.
It is Tommy Boy.
Tommy
yes,
Boy.
That's right. Oh, he's got an office, and why wouldn't he? He's been here 10 minutes.
You can fit 6 packs of soda.
Candy bars in the freezer. And, Charles, we'll put you on hold to get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Winner, John's Tavern dinner.
There you go. That's right. John's Tavern. He's heading there. $25 to Johnny's is now.
John's Tavern was my father. I'm Johnny's Tavern.
Johnny's Tavern. You say Mr. Tavern, and I'm looking behind me for my dad. Like, I'm just Johnny, man. Do it for Johnny, man. Movie line. What's it from?
I don't know. I'm ready for the next contestant.
All right, very good. You must be a Soch. Let's go to John next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Not a cool like a greaser, although your hair would say more greaser than Soch. But John next up, Sports or Leisure. John, what side do you want to start with?
Well, I think I'll start with the Royals Gold Glove questions because I feel really good about the matchup on the next category.
Yeah,
So.
you get 3 more layups on the movie quotes. These are a couple of layups, too, on the Royals Gold Gloves that are left. I don't know which one's easier. Not that I'm going to give you the easier one. I'm just trying to figure out which one is. I don't even know. They're both sort of the. All right, who was the first player in a Royals uniform to win a Gold Glove?
First Royal?
Yeah, maybe that's
Minnesota.
yeah. It's like I said, that's easy. The other one is just as easy as well. That we won't let a particular person choose.
Amos Otis Taylor.
That's right.
I need to start doing more before and after, because you could have Tebow, Nix, Amos, Otis, Taylor.
You should do
Okay.
that. Yeah, before and after. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the year of our Lord, 1971. Amos Otis won the Gold Glove. Leisure with Sterling. What do you say, John?
Well, let's see. So the only reason I felt confident about this, that was my Sean Payton imitation. I didn't know if you guys caught the sarcasm or not.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I got it.
I like it.
I picked
Let
up
me
on
get
it.
through sports because I feel confident about the next round. I see what you did there.
No,
Nice.
I picked up on it.
Appreciate
and you know what? I still felt I'm gruntled by it.
Okay.
Well, I will take a movie. I'll take a movie line.
Nope. You get a riddle. No, I'm kidding. Okay, fine.
Do it for Johnny, man.
I don't know how to put.
Oh, you want? Okay, give me a riddle. Give me a riddle.
No, I'm doing Name That Movie.
He's doing Name the Movie.
Okay.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
It's actually not a movie line. That's just Sterling. He's going to give you the movie line in a second.
Oh, that's Ron Burgundy.
It is.
That's oh, that's the name of the movie though. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh! I know it's Ron Burgundy, but
You are correct. The movie's not
Anchorman.
called
Anchorman.
There we go. The movie's not called Ron Burgundy.
I would have
Yes.
accepted it. I would have let him.
I
do
have
it.
to be harsh. I'm a hard ass.
Yes, that's right. That's what we've always thought about you.
You got to be the Sean Payton. All right.
Yes.
Go Chiefs.
Hey, John, appreciate it. We'll put you on hold. You get to talk to Michael now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. 913-381-810 is the phone number. Couple of winners right out of the gates right there. 913 and with movie lines. So it's surprising that that's happened. Although they had to get sports right too, so whatever. Let's go to Avery next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Avery, Sports or Leisure, $25 at Johnny's Tavern. We're giving away. Avery, what side do you want to start with?
I'll do Gold Glove.
You know what? I had this one. I don't know. Do I? No, I'm not. I'll just do the one that I had left. Like, I've got 4 here. There were 2 of them that I weren't going to ask.
Yeah, that's the hardest one.
You want to do the hardest one?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Andrew Benintendi won a Gold Glove while playing in his first year as a free agent. There are 3 players besides Andrew Benintendi to sign with Kansas City as a free agent and win a Gold Glove that first year. Name 1.
Mark Grudzielanek?
Name 2.
Maybe Bob Boone?
Name 3.
I don't know how we acquired Al Cowan.
Nope. It's actually the same year as Andrew Benintendi, oddly enough.
Oh, Michael A. Taylor?
We got Michael A. Taylor. Michael Taylor. I'm getting tickets. It's one of the best Curtis Seabolt things he's ever done. And that says a lot because it's great. There you go. So I'm glad I asked you that one because the other one would have been an absolute layup for you. Let's go over to Sterling where he's got layups.
I'll do movies.
No, you won't.
Okay.
Oh, wow. He's not going to let you do
He's too good.
Movies are closed for you.
One hit wonders or riddles.
Ooh.
Let's. You stump me on riddles sometimes when it's the nonsense answers. Let's do that.
Riddles, yeah.
He wants riddles?
Yeah.
Did you listen to the show
You can't ask him the same one on Tuesday.
Why?
Not all of it.
Did you listen to Fact or Fiction? Because he asked a riddle in Fact or Fiction. What he's saying is if you didn't listen, he's going to ask you the same one.
Correct.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
What kind of ship, Avery, has 2 mates, but no
Friendship.
captain?
Friendship?
That counts. Yeah, that
I mean,
counts.
to be more specific on that, though.
It's a relationship, but a friendship still is it's a type of relationship.
You're supposed to be in a relationship with your best friend, right? If you're not friends with your partner, then what's the point? You know what I mean? That's what I've always said.
Dang it, Avery. I tried giving you a harder riddle, and you just nailed it.
Yeah, nice job. Avery, we'll put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations.
Well, you can't beat our friendship, guys.
Aw, Avery.
Thank you. That's awesome. Avery, thank you, sir. You'll get to talk to Michael now. Hold on.
Even better.
Yes.
Lucky.
I know, right? I sit around all day from 10 to 2 going, when do I get to talk to Michael? When is it my turn? When do I get to see the sailboat? 913, ooh, what movie is that? 913-381-810. You should let me come up with the movie line questions. We should do movie lines with me asking.
I can do it.
Yeah, I'll get the category for you. Tim next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Tim, Sports or Leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Is it is it true all the movies are done?
We have 2 movies left.
And we also have one that I've thrown.
Oh,
out
you
there.
just closed it for Avery.
Yeah, Avery couldn't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, the murderer's row is batted, and now the 5th hitter steps up to strike out. Let's see here.
It's Casey.
Let's do the movies.
Tim Casey at the bat.
This one time at band camp.
Yeah. What? What'd you do? What
golly.
What was the flute? What happened? Is there a flute involved?
There may have
at
been a
band
flute
camp?
How about, I meant to say let's do the sports Golden Gloves first.
What's the movie?
I stuttered, apparently.
One time at band camp.
Oh, gee.
There was a flute involved.
There was a flute involved.
I can
yes.
see the kid. I see the kids in it. I just can't think of the dang name. Oh my gosh. Oh, my
This
gosh.
actually is
I
probably
can
the
see
most
guy.
famous quote from the movie.
It probably is.
It probably is if you think about it, because it's still said all the time
Yeah.
today. It's funny, for how good of a movie it was, there's not a ton of famous quotes
good
from
point.
it. Kind of
Yeah.
very famous movie, but not a ton of famous quotes. At least I don't think so. I've seen the movie a lot of times. I like it.
I mean, a very popular word
I don't
seemed
want
to maybe originate from that movie.
Correct.
Or at least came more in the common lexicon, common parlance now.
Mm-hmm.
To some people, not me.
What word was that?
Yeah, I got brain freeze. This is bad.
I'm not going to say what word that is. It's not appropriate, Sterling. Okay. This is 4 hours of intellectual radio.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have a. Was there a sequel?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a sequel.
couple.
Yeah, you're right. There's been a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first 2 were really, really popular.
First one mainly. It's huge. Huge, quickly.
I want to go with.
Throw a dart.
Wayne's World?
No.
Wayne's World is incorrect. Tim, thank you for playing, man. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
We will we'll give it a try next week. 913-381-810-810. We take a break. We come back. We continue rolling. We're playing Sports or Leisure. Someone drops off. Phone line open. First in, first on. $25 to Johnny's Tavern. We're giving away 10 area locations and that phenomenal special on Mondays after the Chiefs game where you get the percentage off of however many points the Chiefs score on that large specialty pizza, dine-in only, at any of those Johnny's Tavern locations. 913-381-810-810. More Zone next.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, this is Doug. I'm a patient with Heartland Men's Health. I've been doing low T treatment for just under a year now. I've always dedicated my life to work. I've always found the time to go to gym. I'm 46 years old. My energy level has been on a roller coaster. With work, when we would have like long, stressful meetings, I would notice that I was very exhausted and drained.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. A little sports or leisure on this Thursday. 913-381-810. Playing for Johnny's Tavern. $25 we give away to Johnny's Tavern. 10 area locations, including Lawrence and Topeka. $25 Johnny's Tavern. We've given away a couple of Johnny's Tavern gift cards already today. 913-381-810. Let's reset the categories for those maybe just joining us. We have one question left in Gold Gloves for the Royals. We have Chiefs and Broncos. These are questions about players that played for both the Chiefs and the Broncos. And we have just general NFL questions. What about on the leisure side, Sterling?
We have 2 left in Name That Movie. We have one-hit wonders, which is some difficult ones. And then we have riddles.
Okay, there you go. Those are the categories. 913-381-810 to the phone lines we go. And we bring in Cajun, waiting patiently to join and play the game. Cajun, what side do you want to start with, sports side or the leisure side?
Oh, man. You had some layups there that I usually don't get because I don't share y'all's taste in movies. But real quick one for you guys.
Yeah.
She's your sister. She's your sister. She's your sister. Who's that? Oh, my God. Come on. You'll know that. You'll know all these other David Spade movies.
Oh, yeah. It's...
You want to hear it? It's Jamie Presley.
Joe Dirt.
Jamie
Yep.
Presley's
Joe Dirt.
in the movie.
Joe
Dirt. Yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Then you can change. Hey, Cajun. Then you can change your name from Kicking Wing to Kicking Ass. I would.
Hey, well, don't mind let's do the one-hit wonders. I don't want to do a layup. Let's do a
Okay.
one-hit wonder.
One-hit wonder. Can you do any 80s R&B/soul?
Possibly, but not if it's like towards the hip-hop side.
No, it's not hip-hop side.
Okay.
Yeah, like Motown and...
Yeah, it's like more. It's more Motown. Yeah, it's Motown.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
do it.
Forget-Me-Nots.
Oh, Patrice Rushen.
There we go. See,
yeah, Cajun.
I figured if anyone could do it, it would be Cajun. I went to Curtis.
Here come the men in black. That's the Forget-Me-Nots, right?
That is the
Galaxy
Will Smith.
Defenders.
Will Smith version.
Forget-Me-Not. Forget-Me-Not.
Here come the men in black.
Hey, don't forget John's, where everyone know you name.
There you go. All right, let's head to the sports side, Cajun. We got Gold Glove, we got Chiefs and Broncos, and we got some NFL questions.
Chiefs and Broncos. I'm feeling lucky.
All right, let's do that one. Let's see. You know what? An unlikely Madden cover player. He barely gained over 700 yards rushing in his 3 combined seasons between the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Yep.
It was his short 2 years in Cleveland where most remember him. That, and as random of a Madden cover selection there may ever be in the history of the game.
Correct.
Was he a fullback?
It kind of looked like one. I know that.
Didn't he recently save someone's life?
I don't know. He might have. Actually, you know what? That does ring a bell. That it was in the news.
Quasimodo.
With him. Yeah.
He got injured, critical condition after injuring himself while saving his young niece and son from drowning.
Wow. Amazing.
What you're talking about? Face ringing a bell, so I said Quasimodo.
Oh, no.
You ever heard that Pee Wee Herman
Yeah,
joke? You gotta look it up, man.
That was not a hint whatsoever. That was just us generally wondering. But yeah, okay. So how about that? And a hero.
Geez, I want to say Lorenzo Neal, but he's Chargers. Not
He's the
Broncos,
Chargers,
right?
yeah. Chargers, not Broncos.
Barry Word? No, I give up.
No, it was not Barry Word either.
I can't remember the running backs that played for.
You'll probably remember once you hear the name. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's right.
You'll
That,
for sure
that
remember
dude
this.
was
Tell
on the
me.
Madden
Yeah,
cover.
please.
Before
you hang up.
How about that? I'll put you on hold. Michael will tell you.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you.
There
I
you
like
go.
talking to Michael.
There you go. You're the man. 913-381-810. That question is out
He got
there.
the hard one. He got Forget-Me-Nots by Patrice Rushen. I mean,
It's Men in Black. Let's go to Greg next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Greg, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Hey, guys, let's start with leisure. Since I'm an American guy who likes pie, I think I want to do something more challenging, and I know how you love to do your riddles, so let's do a riddle.
Okay, very good. Okay, fantastic.
okay, let's do a riddle.
I like that. Great lead up.
What has 13 hearts but no other organs?
Deck of cards.
Deck of cards.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. That was
Nice job.
That was
That's a
easy,
layup.
but it was fun though,
was
right?
fun.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
it's a deck of cards.
It's kind of fun.
It's a deck of cards. Very good. Greg, onto the sports side, we've got a Gold Glove question. We have a Chiefs-Broncos question that's out there and plenty of others, and general NFL.
Is it possible to repeat that one that you just did, but maybe
Yes.
not choose it? I didn't hear what the question was.
In case anybody didn't hear it, that's fine. No problem with that. An unlikely Madden cover player barely gained over 700 yards rushing in his 3 combined seasons between the Chiefs and the Broncos. It was his short 2 years in Cleveland where most remember him from, and of course, being as random of a Madden cover selection that we may ever see. And apparently also saved his niece, and who else? Niece and nephew, but niece from drowning here recently.
Yeah,
that's the question that's out there.
Wow. Okay, I have no idea.
Oh, you'll
There you
know
go.
this
We have
guy.
a- well,
Everyone's
clearly
gonna
he
know this
doesn't.
guy.
Well, but he doesn't know right now, so he can choose a different one.
Okay, hold on.
No, you can choose a different one.
700 yards?
You can choose a different one though.
Because Jamal
Somebody will
Charles
know
is
that
like
one.
8,000 yards.
Yeah. Now somebody will know that one. You can get a different one if you want to. NFL,
Okay,
Gold Glove, or Chiefs and Broncos.
let's try another Chiefs Broncos.
All right, very good. One of the best offensive lines in Chiefs history saw this man in the middle. He left the Chiefs for Denver before returning to end his career in Kansas City, an undrafted free agent from Iowa. I'll tell you, his wife has plenty of knowledge of what it's like to be a survivor of a 16-year NFL career.
Survivor. What?
The middle of one of the best offensive lines in Chiefs history. Not the best player on that line, but literally the middle of it. Literally the middle of the best offensive line in Chiefs history.
Offensive line. Sorry.
And his wife has plenty of knowledge about being a survivor of a 16-year NFL career.
Ooh. Jim Fraser.
That is incorrect. Greg, thank you for playing, brother. Appreciate you, man. 913-381-0810
You
is
know
the
what's
phone number.
crazy about
What's
this guy?
Crazy
as good
about
as
this
he
guy?
was in KC, his
Yeah.
only Pro Bowl came that first year in Denver.
Yeah, that happens all the time with Chiefs players, because you got one of the better Chiefs players in Donnie Edwards that went to the Chargers and then was like a perennial Pro Bowler after always getting denied as a Chief. Like, oh, no Pro Bowl again for Donnie Edwards? Wow, Donnie Edwards again, not a Pro Bowler. Chargers, hey, Donnie Edwards, Pro Bowler, right? Pro Bowler. Now it's the exact opposite. It should be, at least. Well, except for McDuffie not making a Pro Bowl yet. I think there's going to be a breakout year for McDuffie. He makes a Pro Bowl. We'll see. Let's go to Steve next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Steve, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Let's start with leisure, please.
All right, we have that one Name That Movie out there. We have one-hit wonders, and we have riddles.
I've been throwing up air balls for the last few days. Can we do a layup with the movie quotes?
So we have the one that's already out there is This One Time at Band Camp. That's the one that's currently out there. Do you want that one or a fresh one?
I feel like I'm cheating. I know what that one is.
Then do it. Then get out.
I'll do that one. You know what? I'll clear the deck for somebody else.
There you go.
For American Pie.
Yes, American
Nice
Pie.
job.
See, what's funny is there's only so many.
It's not many
quotes at all. There's One Time at Band Camp and Stifler's Mom.
Yeah, and a couple of others. That
Yeah,
we're not
it's one
gonna
of those movies where there's a lot of memorable scenes.
Yes, it's a good call.
Like the different pie incidents.
Yes, no,
but the actual quotes
good scenes.
are hard to come by.
Some good scenes. Some good scenes in there. On to the sports side, we've got a Gold Glove question left. We've got Chiefs and Broncos with a couple of those questions out there and plenty of other fresh ones, and NFL.
Chiefs Broncos.
Okay, do you want either of the ones that are still out there, or do you want a fresh one?
I'll let you choose. Bartender's choice.
Okay, so do you, let's ask another one then. So we've got two out there. Maybe somebody behind you knows the answers to those. One of the memories of this chiseled jaw man was sitting in the green room with his girlfriend during the NFL draft while he slid. You'd have to be a diehard Broncos fan to remember him, since he never took a snap in a game while backing up the quarterback. But even as the backup quarterback, the starting QB was replaced by Tim Tebow. His time in KC was forgettable, including what could be his best game as a starter coming off the tragic events that happened a few days prior involving Javon Belcher. This quarterback for the Chiefs and Broncos.
And you mentioned chisel jaw.
Very chisel jaw man, and we one of the unfortunate memories for him that we have of him is sitting in the green room, sliding during the draft, and after every single pick, they just went back and showed him for like a minute and a half straight. It was rough for him. Eventually, his girlfriend left, by the way, and he was at the table by himself, which was also.
Shoot, I was. For whatever reason, it's always Aaron Rodgers that stays in my mind, but that's not the answer. I believe it was.
You'll get it.
Is it Joey Harrington?
No, it is not Joey. Is not Joey Harrington. I'll give you one more guess, just because. You know what? Randomly give you one more guess.
Was he also a quarterback for Cleveland at one point?
Yes.
I know who it is. Brady Quinn?
Yeah, nice job. There you go. I thought you knew who it was, but you just couldn't place the name and went with Joey Harrington. But yes, it was Brady Quinn.
Well, there were so many bad quarterbacks during that season, so it was hard to choose
but it's
which
like,
one.
I think of Brady Quinn, and the first thing that comes to mind is watching TV and seeing him as the draft goes along, sitting at the table with many people, then sitting at the table just he and his girlfriend, then sitting at the table by himself. Like, why is everybody leaving this man? I thought it was awful that his girlfriend ended up leaving. I think with Jamarcus Russell. I'm not sure. I made that up. That's not fair. Is that just Sports Side, or is that both leisure and sports?
You got both.
That's right. That's right. He got the American Pie as well. Steve, we'll put you on hold. Get your information. Congratulations, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. 913-381-0810. To the phone lines we go back, and we talk with Chuck. Next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Chuck, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with? Chuck. Is Chuck there?
Chuck, you may be muted. Did you mute yourself, Chuck?
Michael.
My bad. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There
can
you go.
guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you now. That was awesome, Sterling. I was actually thinking Michael did not have the phone line up and on, so I was like, Michael.
I know. Darcy got it right.
Okay.
I believe in Chuck, and he was doing the right thing by muting himself.
That's great.
He understood the assignment. He just forgot to unmute.
That happens, man. Chuck, what side do you want to start with? Sports side or the leisure side?
I'm going to clear out the Broncos Chiefs. I guess only one of those two. I know them both, but
which one do you want?
might as well get one of those.
Just give us
let's
the
go with
answer of which
Casey
one.
Wigman question.
Casey Wigman question. Very good. It was Casey Wigman who was that center of the Chiefs offensive line, and his wife having plenty of knowledge of what it's like to be a survivor of a 16-year NFL career.
Danny Boatwright, right?
Yes, Danny Boatwright, one survivor, married to Casey Wigman.
And again, I just can't believe all those years of high-level play, his only Pro Bowl, the first year he got to Denver.
I mean, it's
surprising.
The NFL hadn't decided to rig it for the Chiefs yet, so
it was against the Chiefs. It was
That's right. No punt game. Anyway, over to leisure with Sterling.
Let's do riddles because I'm a sucker for those. I keep answering them and I like them.
Thank you. Yes. What kind of band never plays music?
Well, probably a rubber band is my guess.
Yeah, it's true. It's a rubber band. I guess technically you probably could. Yeah, Band-Aid probably never plays.
Although that's a brand.
It's a brand.
Brand-Aid, more like. Am I right? Sorry.
No, I like it. Good job. You were quick on that one. That one took me a second because I like doing them.
That one took you a second?
Maybe 3 seconds.
That took you a while to figure out that was a rubber band? The answer to that one?
It's like probably 3 or 5 seconds. Yeah, it took me a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Wow, sorry. Guys, you know what? I'll never be honest on this show again.
Put that in your pipe.
Jason's going to rip on me.
Thank you, Michael. Chuck will put you on hold and get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys. M-I-Z.
Z-O-U.
913-381-0810. I'm sorry, I just thought that was kind of easy.
I thought it was, too. The deck of cards one I got right away, but sorry, what band doesn't play any music? I was like,
rubber band.
Okay, let me just think of different types of bands.
Yeah, rubber band.
Band-Aid, I don't know, a bad band. John Cage, he was a band, he was a musician. He sat down there for 422 or 433 and just sat above a piano. It was like more of an art spectacle than a music thing.
Yeah. I could see where you could come up with insults of band that you don't like and say, it's what band doesn't play music. I'll tell you what band doesn't play music. This band right there, that band sucks. Let's go to Matt next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Matt, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Let's go with the fresh Chiefs Broncos.
Fresh one for you. Okay, we got a couple left here in the fresh one. Drafted by the Chiefs in the 1990s to man one of the corner spots for one of the best defenses in the league Named Defensive Rookie of the Year, many wondered if he would leave KC free agency to join his brother in Minnesota. Instead, he volunteered to sign a 4-year deal with Denver, only playing one of those seasons before a year-long suspension by the NFL led to his release.
How about Dale Carter?
How about it? Dale Carter.
Really good player, man. That guy was a stud.
Love Dale Carter with the Chiefs. He was awesome. Over to the leisure side with Sterling.
Riddles, name that movie, or one-hit wonders?
Let's go with movies, please.
All right, movies. This is the final one. One of my favorite movies. He died. I can't do a British accent, but he died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. That's in regards to John Stumpy Pepys.
Is that Spinal Tap? This is Spinal Tap?
Yeah, this is Spinal Tap. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, he died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident. Yeah, he died there, and then one guy died choking on someone else's throw up somehow.
That makes sense. Yeah. That is a winner, though. I know that.
Yeah.
Matt, we'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
How about it?
Gosh,
oh,
I
we'll
love
look
that
right
movie.
back at you, punk. That's right.
I love that movie,
Yes.
man. We should watch that soon in here. You know, you know how some remember in middle school, and you have a substitute teacher, and then roll in the TV.
Yes, the old box TV.
We should
The old
just
tube TV.
do a day where we are in here.
We should do it,
and we just watch Spinal Tap.
We should. With just different movies, just on the air while we're talking.
I wonder if people would like that.
They would love it. Even the people that make money off that movie.
Yeah,
well, they would love it too. And they'd have no issue with us doing that whatsoever and them not getting any money out of it. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we will continue rolling more Zone next. All right, here we go. Trying to wrap up Sports or Leisure. Presented by Johnny's Tavern, $25. Let's see if we can get the final contestants in before we throw it to Soren Petro in the program. Ty next up on Sports Radio 810. Ty, Sports or Leisure, what side do you want to start with?
I do a new Chiefs Bronco.
All right, last one remaining for the Chiefs and Broncos. This one's a little tougher. We'll see. He never technically ever played for both teams, but for a short period of time over one offseason, he was directly connected to both teams, eventually joining the Broncos after turning his back on the Kansas City Chiefs and maybe his word not being as strong as oak, while joining the ranks of the easily hateable Denver players. This wide receiver.
But he never played for the Chiefs?
Never played for the Chiefs, but many people around Kansas City, including the Chiefs and the front office, thought he was going to. And he even agreed that he was going to, until going back on his word, not being as strong as oak, and signing with Denver. And the strong as oak thing has nothing to do with the. That's just a Jerry Maguire line, when it was a handshake deal, and then he signed with Bob Sugar. But this guy, wide receiver, was going to join the Chiefs, and then he joined the Broncos and became very hateable because of that. Damn fine player. Would have loved for him to be on the Chiefs.
What era?
This would be in the early 2000, late 2000 aughts, early 2000 teens. I'm trying to think of when that actually happened.
Man.
You want to throw a dart? Throw a dart.
I'm going to say, God, he would not be Shannon Sharp as a receiver.
Yep. Got to get to our next contestant. What do you say? Throw a dart.
3.
I'm drawing a blank. My bad.
All good, Ty. Appreciate it, man. We'd let you think a little bit longer, but up against it. Let's go to James next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. James, Sports or Leisure?
Sports.
All right, we got those 2 questions out there for Chiefs and Broncos. We have NFL questions and 1 Gold Glove question.
What was the one with the mad cover? Is that the first Chiefs Broncos?
Yeah,
question?
that's a Chiefs Broncos question. You want that one? You want that one? James?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep. Go. You want that one? No, you're good. You want that one?
Let's do that one.
All right. Who is it?
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis. Well done. Over to Leisure with Sterling.
Peyton Hillis. Name that movie, One-Hit Wonders or Riddles.
Movies.
All right, movies. Which would be worse, to live as a monster or die as a good man? Sanity's not a choice. You can't just choose to get over it. And then a reoccurring line, pull yourself together, Teddy. It's not a comedy, but this is one of my favorite movies.
And this is a line out of a movie?
Yes.
Sounds like an entire scene.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
Oh, all right.
It's a little over my head.
Yes. James, appreciate it, man. Do we have time for what? No. Michael says
Quick.
no. Quick. Ronnie, Sports or Leisure?
Sports. Emmanuel Sanders.
Boom. Done. Over to Leisure.
Give me the easiest one that's left.
Go.
Okay. It's gonna be that was the only movie line. What has 1 head, 1 foot, and 4 legs? It's a riddle.
1 head, 1 foot, 4 legs. 1 head, 1 foot, 4 legs.
Oh, man.
What are items that...
is it a table?
Close.
Oh, it's not a table?
Think of something like it. What else has 4 legs?
It's a bed.
It's
a bed, right?
It's a bed.
Nice job, Ronnie. We'll put you on hold.
You
Congratulations, dude. There you go.
You won!
Any questions you did not get answers to?
Shutter Island. That was Shutter Island.
Yeah, Shutter
and I
Island.
thought the reoccurring line, pull yourself together, Teddy.
Shut your island. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite movies. Incredible. But what a line.
Yeah, we got all of the questions I asked were eventually answered, so there you go.
Which would be worse, to live as a monster or to die as a good man?
How long do I get to live as the monster, and how long did I live and then died as a good man?
It's Frankenstein's monster.
It's going to be your bowl.